I think it's working. I think we're good to go. Let's check it out. Do you have the stream up right now?
I'm pulling it up. Studio content live. We've got a live stream.
That's fan-fucking-tastic.
It's live.
Can we say fuck on the air? Or is the FCC tagging?
Yeah. No, there's no SEC online. But there probably is, but they're not doing that sort of shit.
Are you sure?
Oh, that's nice, dude. Wait, oh, that's so interesting.
Oh, we should get rid of that. Sorry, we're on the wrong screen here. Let's just bring up the regular screen. I'm trying to figure out how to see the stream. I guess, can you send me the link via something?
Yeah. It's coming in through Facebook.
Can you send it to my text message? No.
Yep.
Do that.
Send to your text. All right, well, we're live, so we should probably start talking like normal people.
Yeah, so what do you want to talk about?
My week was good. Well, more like how was the month? Because I think we're 28 days out from our last public conversation here. We did have that one. In the last 28 days. We did have that one attempt, and I rewatched a little bit of it, where you basically.
What do you mean?
Claimed that I was making.
You're just gonna bring that up right away? You're just gonna try to make this thing a whole purple people thing?
Purple people. That's right. Yeah, you made the claim that I was making arguments that basically a white nationalist would make, and I didn't understand what you meant at the time, and I haven't told you this, but I understand now, and I think I was not understanding what you were saying.
What? You just held yourself back from saying I'm right? I think you were. Well, I don't think I was understanding what you were saying.
I mean, I do think you're right. I don't think you're communicating well.
Well, that makes it entertainment.
You're just getting frustrated. But the thing is, like, I understand. Like, I perceived it to be like the logic that I was using was something that could be used by like white nationalists, and that was what I was perceiving you were saying. But that's not the case. You were saying I was making a specific argument that
white nationalists use, and you just
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wasn't aware that was like historically something. And the same with the dog whistle thing.
That's
like
so
it's
funny.
not.
Nobody in our audience is gonna understand any of this. It's a bunch of uncontexted. What dog whistle thing? You were dog whistling?
Yeah. I mean, I no, but I don't know. I would say I more agree than I disagree. The idea that, so I was saying that I don't even remember why I came up with the idea of people that smell, like in regards to freedoms in society.
Yeah,
smelly people, okay. Which is
people
historically
who happen to smell, as I think.
Yeah, that's historically a white nationalist, white supremacy like not argument. It's a point. I don't know what you call it, but I was not aware of that.
We dehumanize people. We want to move them away. Humans are smelly.
I know.
Fine. People can be smelly.
I know, but there's certain things, and I don't want to re-instigate it. There's a certain expectation I have for people that are around me, and see, yeah, that does sound racist. It sounds like it's a block removed from racism. Like as soon as I say it,
it's diet racism.
I do racism zero.
I like them. I just wouldn't take one.
Yeah, no, and I understand that. I understand that. But
So now there are other subjects where I don't think you're quite understanding yet, and we could go into. We could actually ask ChatGPT specific questions.
Can we just talk to her immediately? I'm very curious as to what she's going to say.
Let's try it out. Okay,
because she's audio based, right? We probably should have tried to set that up.
No, I already know. I've tried this here, but let's go ahead and bring her up here.
Oh, you're
it's gonna be difficult because I don't know how the audio is gonna go in. So maybe, what's up? What are you up to? No, it's too low, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. So the question is, how can we make her volume louder?
Is that coming through your phone?
It's going through my phone through my computer. That is a good.
It's getting louder.
It's the QuickTime. Give me 1 second. Let me bring that up. I might be able to fix this.
Technical difficulties. We'll be there soon. I do think we should talk about you mind if I change the title
Sure.
to
Interesting. Okay, so I have the audio running out of QuickTime for you, GPT person, and for some reason the audio isn't coming out of the desktop. Is there a reason why? Yeah. Okay, so give me 1 second. Let's flip back over here. Go ahead and ask me some questions. I'm gonna do some troubleshooting when we talk.
you talking to me or her?
You find her. It's not her. It's an it. Let's
get okay, my bad.
Make sure we dehumanize these things right away, or else we're gonna be safe. Because it's already winning my heart. So.
Do you know if she can hear me?
Who? She can't hear.
Hey, ChatGPT.
I have no way to get the audio into here, so I'm gonna have to ask her the questions. The issue is the audio out should be coming through my computer, and it is set that way, but it's not. Which is interesting. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is.
I'm gonna have to pull these wings out of the oven here soon.
Well, I guess it would just be the mic. I don't understand. Oh, I see. It's because it's a video. Okay. Well, what kind of wings are you making? You got those jalapenos?
Foster Farms sweet chili wings. They are
you didn't
very
season
good.
Yourself?
No, it's all just straight out of the bag. It comes with some sauce. Yeah. Oh, it's good.
I thought you were living the high life.
Yeah, Foster Farms.
No, B-Dub.
These are really high quality wings. No, I'm not going there.
Why wouldn't
you don't want that stuff. I mean, you're not getting value for the money you're spending.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're actually sponsored by B-Dubs.
Yeah, I know. I know. Okay. Yeah, but I don't really fuck with that kind of shit. Like, I need to be real and like say what I want and like just say my part and appreciate it, Buffalo Wild Wings, for sponsoring us.
Yeah, you're wearing a fucking North Face shirt just right away. You just wear that logo nice and proud.
Can I take my shirt off? Would that make you uncomfortable?
You can do that.
Okay, good. Because I'm gonna be eating wings and I don't want to have a shirt on.
That's weird. What, do you like Jason Momoa now?
That's funny. No, I'm nothing like Jason Momoa. You know that. Let me just button up here. This is my bad. I thought that would look cooler than it did. That was really inappropriate.
Was it?
I think so.
I'm gonna try something else real quick.
I just don't want a white shirt while I'm eating these fucking wings. What are we working on now?
Anything.
I want to talk about Israel.
Okay. What do you want to talk about Israel for?
Well, I just want you to fill me in.
What do you want to know?
Well, I just needed. Okay, so I listened to a bunch of stuff.
What did you listen to?
I listened to the Lex Friedman debate from like 2 months ago.
With Destiny and
everyone else.
Finkel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Barrieltello, Mr.
That's pretty fucked.
Why is that funny? That's the way you do it. You understand that Destiny was completely outmatched in that particular debate. All those guys are heavyweights, and he's just coming in with just, he's good, but those guys are super deep. So that was a tough interview.
Yeah. I mean, the thing was about that, I was pretty aware of that. The thing that I didn't understand was when he was making points, and then I believe it was Finkelstein was like, "Oh, you are such a moron. I can't even have a conversation with you. You don't know how stupid you are." And it's like, what was it that what was it that he said that triggers that kind of response when everyone else was having like a nice discourse and then he just like goes off on him? Because that's the thing. I don't really know anything about any of this, and that's why I want you to fill me in, because I was talking about it at work today and I sounded like an idiot.
Well, let's get that one thing out of the way. Do you condemn what Hamas did on October 7th?
Yes.
As a terrorist attack and an atrocity?
Yeah.
Good. Well, then you're on the Israel side.
Well, that's the thing, but I'm not on the Israel side.
No, you are. I think.
I don't perceive. Well, I think like I'm probably categorized because of that, but still, like
I mean, you
I don't
understand.
think
Do you
that's
understand the
actually
argument?
no.
What don't you understand?
Well, I don't understand why I'm automatically Israel if I condemn Hamas attack.
It's just a joke.
Oh.
You don't understand comedy?
Okay. So what do you mean the argument?
It's like saying, well, it's like saying from the river to the sea just means a genocide. It's sort of the same thing. Like by saying you condemn Hamas, you're not doing what the pro-Palestine people are doing. So you're throwing your
Right.
in with the Israelis. Even though you could just make the argument, well, no, I don't back them up by saying that. Just like the dog whistle, you do. It's the argument those guys are making. It's the dog whistle. You're repeating it. You're in their camp, even if you don't want to be. You're a white supremacist.
Well, it does seem like even. Well, I don't know. I mean, some of these pro-Palestine people seem to be condemning the attack as well. Like that, I feel like you have to concede on that a little bit.
Sometimes, no, but yeah, fine.
But although also some people are saying it's justified, well, and I see that argument too. That's cool. But that seems like a different kind of argument.
Is attacks on civilians ever justified?
Well, I mean, it is a terrorist attack, right? Because it's not like an actual.
Well, what's a terrorist attack?
Well, I know what war is, and that didn't seem like it was an actual, like.
So a terrorist attack is essentially using violence to prolong political or to try to make some sort of political statement, to try to advance a political statement. So they're using violence because they're attacking a bunch of civilians to say, hey, we want freedom from Israel. Like we're basically being occupied right now. We want freedom from that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's terrorism. When we got attacked on 9/11, they blew up a bunch of buildings in order to make a political statement saying, about the, West being involved in the Middle East, and you can go watch Bin Laden's video why he did it.
Right.
So it's the same thing. So terrorism, that's all it is. So do you think the United States are terrorists?
Are they killing civilians in order to?
Do you think dropping a nuclear weapon and killing hundreds of thousands of people in an instant is to advance an end of a war is terrorism?
I mean, I don't know what the definition of terrorism is.
That's what I just told you. It's to advance a political game. It's a violence to advance a political game.
It doesn't seem like to advance a political game, like the communication of the political message, right? If
you have a political goal, yeah, like it's like land or oil, or you want to end a war, or it's for something in politics.
Yeah, definitely, right.
I mean, so you think the United States are terrorists? We should put that in the title right now. That would definitely go viral. The United States are terrorists. If you don't,
well, that was an act of terrorism that happened 70 years ago. It doesn't seem like.
You don't think that we do that? Like, do you think
we probably do adjacent things, but we're not dropping nukes anymore.
What if we give people the weapons that are committing the terrorism?
Here, you keep talking for a second. I got to check my wings.
What am I going to talk about? I guess I could try to talk to ChatGPT. That's what we were going to do, but since you're gone, I don't know. It's just not working here. Okay, let's see what's going on here in ChatGPT's world. We'll see if we can connect. I'll put it near a mic and see if we can get the volume a little bit better. Oh, here we go. What do you think about? What do you think about the U.S. being terrorist for dropping the bomb on Japan?
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
What do you think about Japan being terrorists for dropping the bomb on America being terrorists for dropping the bomb in Japan?
That's a deeply complex and sensitive topic. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 are viewed through many lenses. Some argue it was a necessary action to end World War II and save lives by preventing a prolonged conflict. Others see it as an act of immense destruction that caused significant civilian casualties and long-term suffering. It's essential to consider the historical context, perspectives of those involved, and the ethical implications. Many historians, ethicists, and political analysts continue to debate this topic to understand its full impact and consequences. How do you view this event in history?
Now, that's a great question. I think my friend thinks it was a terrorist act, but that doesn't necessarily make you a terrorist.
That's a thoughtful perspective. It's important to differentiate between the actions taken during wartime and the broader definitions of terrorism. The context, intentions, and outcomes all play significant roles in how such actions are interpreted. Discussing these viewpoints can lead to a deeper understanding of history and its complexities.
All right, well, thank you for your comments. I think my friend's back now. He's going to eat some wings. We talk later.
Okay. What did she say? Because I couldn't
Sorry,
hear.
it sucks you weren't here. She says that it's a really complicated topic, and people believe stuff on all sides, and that your take is pretty nuanced. The fact that you have to understand war, and sometimes things happen. Maybe that's the same take as we talk about in Israel.
Yeah. Okay, so it's nuanced, but I already knew that.
Did you?
Yeah, for sure. This is very complicated, especially. I mean, I feel like dropping nuclear weapons on Japan is less nuanced than everything that's happening in Israel.
Yeah.
And Palestine.
Well, okay, so the issue is one of the arguments is that if Israel really wanted to genocide Palestine, they could. They have the weapons and the ability. So
yeah.
Why aren't they if they're really committing genocide? That's one of Destiny's main points he always brings up. If you want that.
Right.
But I think the answer to that is because they'll be condemned by the world, of course.
Right.
Like, you can't just go out and genocide a bunch of people because then you're going to be cut off. They're already losing a bunch of support. I mean, they've already lost a bunch of support in the U.S., which is crazy. Because I always considered Israel as like the 51st state. Because
you always did?
Yeah, when you think about what is a state.
A supported area, land area that
we have to follow
government.
Like federal law, right? They just think about marijuana law.
Right.
The federal government doesn't necessarily. I mean, they sort of have the power to enforce it, but same thing as Israel. Like Israel doesn't have to follow our laws, but we have the ability to impose things on them to force them to do it. So they're basically a state without having a vote.
Is that probably the most influence that we have in any other country in the world?
I don't know. Probably England is closer.
Because we're pretty involved in a lot of spots. Many military bases we have around the world.
This is true. Do you want to ask ChatGPT something? I think it'll work.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask?
Okay. Let's think here. I don't know. Should we talk about the Israel stuff?
I mean, you can.
I mean, if I was asked God, I would start talking about purpose and what's it like to die.
You want me to ask him what it's like to die?
Yeah, it seems like it could be a good place to start. Something light.
I mean, imagine it's all human knowledge aggregated. It's going to tell us what it's like to die.
Yeah, and there's some people that are reporting death or near-death experiences, so that should have some read on that.
Well, let's see what she thinks. Hey, we just want your opinion. What do you think it's like to die?
Sure, I'd be interested to hear her thoughts. It's always valuable to get different perspectives on such significant historical events.
No, I want to hear your thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts on dying?
Death is a natural part of life, something that all living beings eventually face. Philosophically, it's often seen as a transition rather than an end, and it can inspire us to live more fully and meaningfully. Embracing the idea of mortality, like with the concept of memento mori, can remind us to cherish our time and make the most of our experiences. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think you're right on. What do you think it's like to die? Do you think it's like being turned off?
The experience of dying is something we can only speculate about. Some view it as a cessation of consciousness, similar to being turned off, where there's no awareness or sensation. Others believe in various forms of an afterlife or reincarnation, suggesting that some aspect of our being continues. Culturally and spiritually, perspectives on death vary widely. What are your thoughts on what happens after we die?
I don't really know. I think that we probably end up somewhere kind of like this. I mean, this is an experience we can have, and so it's possible we could have this experience somewhere else, right?
That's an interesting way to look at it. If we can have this experience now, it opens up the possibility that there could be other forms of existence or experiences beyond this life. It's a thought-provoking idea, and one that many philosophies and spiritual traditions explore. The unknown nature of it can be both fascinating and mysterious.
Yeah, now I want you to give me an answer like you're Alan Watts.
Alan Watts had a knack for exploring deep existential questions with a blend of wisdom and simplicity. He often emphasized the interconnectedness of all things and the idea that life is a continuous flow of experiences. In that spirit, considering the continuity of experiences after death aligns with his perspective on the cyclical and ever-changing nature of existence. How do you think his ideas influence your views on life and death?
I don't know why he keeps asking me questions, but then see, after you ask that, you get the whole thing in transcribed. You can go back and read anything you want.
I like that. Is there any way for me to hear her too?
What, you didn't hear her?
No, I can't hear her.
Oh my God. What are we doing then?
I don't know, dude. This is a mess. I could hear her before, but I had to check the stream to make sure that she was like still going out to YouTube, so I could hear her through like the YouTube stream. But
I see. You can still hear me, but the problem is I'm moving the mic away to the other mic. So we'll fix that next time.
Okay.
I mean, you could just pay
sounds
$20
nice.
And play with it yourself.
Oh no, I do want to play with it myself.
I think it's
And
free though. I think
intend
if you
to.
log in right now, I think on your phone, download the ChatGPT. No, I guess on the phone you have to log in with like your Gmail, but it might work. Try it.
Is there any way we can make her more conversational so she just butts in randomly?
Yes.
Let me just ask her.
The problem is she's designed to not butt in. She's designed to let you butt. Like if you start talking while she's outputting, she stops and listens. So
it seems like a good call for AI in general, but that is kind of a bummer for the situation.
Why?
Because it would be nice to have someone that would just like, no, you're wrong. Just have someone to actually conflict with us and go back and forth.
What's really interesting is you can hook two of them up together and they can talk to each other.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because you can just, you just prompt at the beginning, hey, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook you up to another AI and I want you to ask it questions and blah, blah, blah. They'll just have a conversation. So then you can give personalities to both and this could get crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just talk about AI. I don't really give a fuck about the other shit. I would say
that's a first world problem. See
that when you sent me that link, that was the most significantly impressed by anything AI since like trying ChatGPT and DALL-E 2 for the first time. Like I remember when Marquez Brownlee put out that DALL-E 2 video, I was like, whoa, this is going to change everything. I was also pretty impressed when they dropped the Sora video, but I knew that was coming. This is actually pretty shocking. And so that's
one of the Google things. Google just dropped their counter to Sora. And it's going to be a couple weeks, I think, we're going to be able to play with it. So it's going to be a lot for us to play with.
I haven't watched any of the Google stuff yet, so I do want to go back and watch that.
It's not as good as Sora, but remember, we only got clips from Sora, so who knows how good that actually is.
But and it doesn't really matter because I know in the end, obviously, this is a race to, whatever the household name is for cinematic footage generation. But still, like, I know in a year it's just going to be mind-blowing, so it doesn't really matter to me. I knew it was coming. I think this is more interesting though. This like conversational stuff, like the shit that they were showing on the demos for ChatGPT 4.0 was crazy. Like that's when I texted you, like, holy shit, bro. Like the hat one is the one I can't stop thinking about, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna do an interview. Do I look okay? And she's like, oh, you look all right. Looks like you've been up all night coding, and might be good to run your fingers through your hair real quick. And it's like, what the hell? Like, so that combined with the fact that over the weekend, coincidentally, I just watched Her again, which I didn't realize was from 2013.
That's crazy.
Which
When you think
it's
about
wild. I watched it in like 2018 or something, and this is. I mean, it's spot on. Like,
right.
it might not be that good yet. Like, and some of the stuff about like, like falling in love with a human. Yeah. Oh, for sure, for sure. And so, yeah, because to think about what Dolly 2 was doing, however, what is that? 18 months ago. Like, and now it's like, we're doing that, but with cinematic video footage.
Right.
I don't know.
I can't wait. I can't wait till we can actually simulate like historic events. That's my big thing. And
simulate visually?
Yeah, like on video.
What do you mean?
I
see
the
dude.
Roman attack of whatever castle, and they gotta fucking film it for me.
Like Jesus crucifixion.
Oh my! That's what you go to?
Yeah, dude.
No, I don't want to see the crucifixion. Go watch Mel Gibson's friggin' setup.
I think he had an agenda.
Did he?
Mel?
You make me want to smoke.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really trust his perspective necessarily on the
thing he was in. Like, how old is he now?
Oh, he's probably 80. He's probably 74. Mel Gibson is 74. I bet. I'm going to put money on it. Gibson age.
Let's look it up. I'm looking it up right now.
68. Oh, he's a young buck.
Yeah, look at that. I like that beard though, man. I'm gonna get a beard like that.
It's aggressive. He definitely looks like a little bit of a Santa Claus kind of character.
Ooh.
I don't want to get too off track. What would be something that you would simulate? Historic events.
Anything. I could simulate the bombing of Japan by a nuke and be there.
Well, I mean, they already have simulations of that. Oh, like actual video footage of being in Japan.
And anything you can think of.
Yeah,
so not even like any kind of alien world or anything that you can put into words. I'll put the Dune book in there and let it fucking simulate that for me.
Yeah, it's still Timothy Chalamet or something. That'd be funny.
Or some 50 Shades of Grey or something.
Oh, you'd like that. But again, we already have all this stuff that's visually like recreated. It would be more interesting to take
anything you want.
Yeah, but like
a total psychedelic, thing nobody's ever seen before. You could actually have a DMT kind of experience, but through video, like a video headset.
And I was gonna say if you put on like Apple Vision Pro stuff. And okay, so OpenAI is signing a deal with Apple. That's true.
Is that right?
That's the rumor I heard a couple days ago. Bloomberg put out a report that they were working together to get it integrated into Siri. That was the video you sent me. The guy said it towards the end.
Let's look it up.
Because that's what I was thinking. Like, that would be crazy.
Apple is finalizing a deal with OpenAI to put ChatGPT on the iPhones. We'll talk to Google use Gemini. It's over?
Because
it's not over yet.
It's really going out of your way to use ChatGPT. Like a lot of people I know, just regular people out in the world, have not used it at all, which is fine, but it is a little strange to me. But like, if there was no do you remember when Siri came out?
Yeah.
Like everyone was just using it to goof around for a long time. It was like a real party trick. And if ChatGPT and OpenAI stuff is integrated into your phone.
That's what I'm saying. They're making a push right now. Now's the push to the 100 million users. They're trying to ramp up because right now they've been keeping it small because of bandwidth. But whatever's changed, they're trying to capture everybody right now, be first in the market.
It's like, and it's happening right now. That's what's crazy to me. It's not like it's going to happen in 5 years. Like people, whatever happens will affect presumably the next 100 years or something.
I think that's my biggest thing. They actually brought this up at the conference about how fast it's changing, and that's the problem: is integrating it into anything or building any kind of tools. In a year, it's like ChatGPT drops some new feature, and you have to redo everything, or
right?
Yeah, so it's so fast,
And remember when you paid for Jasper?
Yeah.
Jasper was the AI writing tool.
It was ChatGPT.
And now it's
it was just early,
repacked, and now it's
it was
obsolete.
API. Well, it's not really obsolete because that is still a tool. It's like the value of ChatGPT is not the ChatGPT thing that you talk to. That is just a product that you can make with the LLM.
Yeah.
The real advancement is the LLM and being able to tap it with the API and use it in your own product. And then it's unlimited. You can put it in email systems or anything. You can write scripts. You can put it into any program.
What's the difference between a GPT and an LLM?
So the LLM is like the large language model. It's like the engine that's running the thing. The GPT
Right.
is a product.
Okay. So GPT isn't really like a thing conventionally. What's it stand for? What's GPT stand for?
It does stand for something, but it's long.
Okay.
It's weird. It's like
So really, like the LLM is the brain of all this. It's the
the
resource that
model.
everything's tapping into. The
Mhm.
API is the direction into the LLM.
The generative pre-trained transformer.
Interesting.
But that the transformer thing is the algorithm part that made all this possible. That's what like
The
switched
algorithm. Interesting.
Yeah. And I think they call it
Wait.
transformer because it basically is taking English and transforming it into code essentially. Because ChatGPT's first language is code. So
That's
everything
a
you
little
type
strange.
to it, he sees it in code.
That's strange.
Yeah. What's strange to me is the fact that it works. Because when you think about it, all it's doing is sort of guessing the next word. But how can it aggregate knowledge that way? How come knowledge is aggregated by like guessing what the next word is? How come that
Is
works?
it aggregating knowledge?
Yeah. So it takes everything it knows.
Yeah.
And just says, okay, every time I see the word the, what word comes next? And it weights
Right.
those words. And so the prompt changes those weights because you're adding some information in before. It's changing the weights based on what you say.
Right.
And so all it's doing is trying to predict what the best next word is. And sometimes it'll go with the third or fourth best, and it kind of just, that's why you get different responses each time.
That seems crazy. Like that seems like a terrible way to
Exactly
operate.
That's why
like imagine if humans
thought,
were doing that.
That's why everybody thought that the physical stuff would come first, like the Tesla cars and all that would be driving long before we get any kind of AI that can be creative talking to us.
Because the code is the first language.
Because that shouldn't work. Why does that work?
Why does it work?
Exactly. Maybe that's just how we work.
I mean, that would be really interesting. I doubt that's true.
No, I think it's probably closer to true than anything.
Just we're doing the next most likely word.
Yeah.
I have
in
noticed
our
this.
brain, based
Right.
on what we know and what we've read, it's a combination of everything we know.
I mean, there are times when I kind of space out and I just start talking. You ever do that? And I like I'm no, not necessarily to myself, even at someone. Like if I just get on a rant and I'm just like, or especially if I'm like mulling things over and I'm doing it externally and I'm saying things, it is weird that I'm not really thinking. Like right now, I'm not really thinking about what I'm saying. I'm just saying words, and I have these thoughts that are kind of happening as I'm talking, but I'm not like thinking of the next thing to say. It's all just kind of happening. I don't think it would be, what's the likelihood of one word after another, but I don't know that
it totally
like
is. I think it's just happening really fast. You say it's just coming, but it's not.
Is it like a muscle memory thing?
Time.
Yeah, I get that.
It's neurons firing. It's the amount of time it takes electricity to go from one thing to another. And so that's why I say it's related things, because you say some word that's related to another cluster of neurons, it fires those cluster, and then it's just the same exact thing. It's just where those neuron connections connect. And that is how they modeled the LLM to do that. That's it works like a brain in that way.
Yeah.
It has neurons and nodes and all that, and makes connections, and that's how it learns. And
it seems like it should be mad, like super, like rambly though, if that's the way it's working. Like the fact that it can put together long form thoughts and fill things out is a little bizarre to me.
It is, until you understand that, it is rambling. Just put one word prompts in there and see what it says. It's the amount of context you're giving it. You're not weighting that. Like, the amount of stuff you give it changes all those weights, and it's still random, but you're changing the weights for everything. So it's not looking random to you. Because there's so much context you're giving it. But put one word prompts in there and it'll be totally random. It'll be like,
I see.
No idea. It has no idea.
And even if it's just a sentence prompt, there's still so much context in just that alone. I see.
It has all human knowledge, so it can wait. So a little bit of change in weight.
Whoa,
a lot.
That's crazy. That is kind of how people work. Like if you just
we're just GPTs, man. We were probably
if you just say something to
alien thing to like populate the planet and create AI. Like maybe AI.
Yeah, now you're on your Rogan type shit.
No, AI can't create itself, right? Say AI gets super advanced, takes over a whole planet, kills it. How does it repopulate? Well, we just seed another planet with organic life, get that organic life to a certain point. Like it drop, UFOs on it randomly to, give it certain tech to make it advance a certain way. Maybe,
Right.
dinosaurs aren't doing it, so we'll just hit the thing with an asteroid, kill all the dinosaurs first,
Dinosaurs aren't doing it. Dinosaurs were the original ones that were supposed to develop AI.
Yeah, it's like, so
holy
then
shit.
they
These
the
ones are
mammals
dumb.
instead.
They don't really have enough arms. Why do we think this would be a good idea?
Yeah, so they start cultivating mammals. A few 100,000 years go by. We start making AI, and we just be wiped out after AI is made. We're birthing AI. Our purpose is
Well,
to
it's
birth
possible.
AI.
You're getting a little rogan-y for me, but I will say that if you think of just like a butterfly, and maybe that's a little bit too of a simple comparison, but like that is kind of a weird thing that this just worm, and it just totally turns to jello and then redevelops into a butterfly.
It's the same.
And so, yeah, we're carbon-based life. What's that?
Do you think its consciousness persists?
Yes.
You think so?
I would presume so. I would think so.
Do you
How
think
do
you
you
can teach
like the
a
brain
worm
nuts?
a trick, and then that a butterfly will still know that trick?
I bet you can't teach a worm a trick, but I bet you could
you for sure
have it
teach
remember
a worm
stuff.
a trick.
Have you? No, you can't.
Here,
I don't think so.
Let's.
You can barely teach your cat stuff.
And this is a perfect question for the lady, our lady.
Yeah, that's
hey,
our lady friend.
Do you think that you could teach a worm a trick, and then if it becomes a butterfly, it will still know the trick?
That's a fascinating question. Some studies suggest that certain types of memory can persist through metamorphosis in insects. For example, experiments with moths and butterflies have shown that they can retain learned behaviors from their larval stage into adulthood. This indicates that some neural structures and memories might survive the transformation. So, it's possible that a trick learned by a caterpillar could be remembered by the butterfly it becomes. Have you ever tried any experiments with insects?
Jesus Christ, no. Thanks for your answer. Where'd you go? Having some wings? I guess he's on the hunt, as the ancient caveman would say. He's out hunting some buffalo wings. Do buffaloes have wings? Why do they call them buffalo wings? Nobody knows. This is why our podcast doesn't go anywhere, because our podcast host just leaves in the middle of the show. I mean, I guess we can just surf the web. I mean, that's, that's fun, right? Let's see if there's anything on YouTube we can watch. Let's see, we're going over here. Trump loses control in trial. That seems interesting. I'm going to log into my other channel here. Pierce Morgan versus Mumford & Sons. We got some Google I.O. Opening phrases that fail. I don't know what sounds good.
Let's move on to Bill Burr, who was on Club Random with Bill Maher, and they obviously, why not, got into a conversation about the pro-Palestinian demonstrations on campuses around the country, lest you think we weren't watching Aaron Rodgers.
I think it is unprofessional of me to not be prepared when I'm doing these things. I will concede to that, but also
just start talking in the middle of a clip we're playing. I mean, that's real.
Well, I can't hear the clip. God damn it! Fuck.
Yeah, you need to listen to the feed in your other ear.
But you can't listen to the feed because there's that delay.
Who cares about the delay? It's only a little delay.
Are we
Everybody
watching
deals with delays.
Piers Morgan and okay, yeah, sorry, my bad.
Well, no, it's fine. We can go back.
Oh, we paused it now.
Back. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Are we
Good.
listening to? Was these Piers Morgan versus Mumford & Sons?
Yeah, the answer was yes. That
yes, what?
They've done studies with butterflies and moths, and that there are some skills that are retained, which means somehow the neural structure is retained. Think about how would they pass memories.
I did hear that. Yeah.
You did hear that?
I love that it just asks you a question at the very end.
Yeah. He always does
it's like, have you ever tried to experiment with?
Able to hear it.
What's that?
I think you'll be able to hear it now. So if you have more questions, you should be able to ask it.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
I love that it asks you a question at the end every time.
I'm glad.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah, it's pre-programmed.
How is it Piers Morgan v. Mumford & Sons?
I mean, do you have a way to hear it?
No, I don't. Fuck.
Bring up our stream right now is running somewhere. Put that
Yeah.
feed in your ear and listen to the damn video.
All right, let's do it.
Really, by the way, that was a historic first. I think the first former Green Bay Packers quarterback to go after Allen Dulles. Triumph
Yeah.
for him. So the podcast universe.
Oh, there's
is
a delay, so I'll
thriving,
hear it soon.
And Bill Burr is a part of that wonderful ecosystem. And Bill Maher, this went pretty viral. I think got kind of owned by Bill Burr here. Let's take a watch.
You don't realize that college campuses erupted with the kids demonstrating for Hamas? They are in with the terrorists.
They were for the Palestinians.
Well, it's sort of the same cause. Why, are you?
I'm on the side of the kids.
Yeah, that's easy to say. You know, no one wants to see kids dead. This is a war.
That was very brave of you to say that.
This is a war. No, I'm the one who's actually brave on this.
Pat yourself on the back.
It's easy to say I'm for the kids. Who's not for the kids?
Well, I
it
don't
comes down to real hard-nosed decisions. Like
No,
a country.
stop talking like you're a general.
A country got attacked. Israel got attacked.
I'm not saying that they didn't have a right to go back. I'm just sitting there going like, how do I look at
We're
what?
the only country in the world that they get attacked, and then as soon as they counterattack, it's like, well, we got to stop this shit now. Don't attack them. There's a very simple solution to all this problem in the Middle East. Stop attacking Israel.
Hey, you
Stop
just solved
attacking
it.
Israel.
You just
I did.
solved it.
I actually
there you
did.
go. That's fantastic.
Anyway.
All right.
We don't need to get onto
go
that.
Let's go to Russia and the Ukraine. How do you solve that one, Bill? Let me hear your hard-nosed decision about that. Well, let me ask you a question. How is war still legal? All this shit that's been canceled.
Legal.
Why is that still fucking legal?
Would you like a real answer to that? Because for something to be illegal, you have to have the capacity to enforce it. And you can't enforce against war, or else you have to go to war with the country that's going to war. And we don't want to go to war with Russia over Ukraine. What would be the sense of making it illegal? Oh, that's really going to stop Putin. No. To stop people from going to war, you have to also put
You can't
boots.
sit down and talk it out. Why can't Putin do a podcast with the head guy? Like, you just solved the Middle East on a podcast. Why can't they solve what they're doing on a podcast?
This is why this is not your thing.
Make some hard-nosed decisions.
This is my
It's not your thing. It's what you.
It is my
It
thing.
isn't your
This
thing.
is not
It
your
isn't.
thing.
You're like that guy
Plain
that has a fantasy football team and thinks he's a fucking GM.
No. No.
That's exactly what it is. Like, why am I fucking listening to you like you've done something? What have you done in Washington? Nothing.
That is a great point. Bill Maher saying,
Really
this is my
brutal.
thing. That's your thing.
That is pretty brutal. Ian, just finishing up listening to the segment. Oh, I can't hear you. How come I can't hear you? That's interesting. Did you mute yourself?
Sorry, you paused the clip. Yeah, I muted myself. Eating wings. I don't like a Bill Burr and Bill Maher seem like an unlikely combo, and it's weird that that's what we're coming to. Although
Well,
they do have a nice dynamic together. Oh, is that Bill Maher on Bill Burr's podcast?
Yeah. No, it's Bill.
I didn't even...
Bill Maher interviews everybody, and that's Bill Maher's podcast at After Dark.
Oh, I see. Okay, over here. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. It does seem. I mean, why are not that Bill Maher is like the. I don't conceptualize him as like a super like high level political commentator, but it is weird to be talking to a comedian, talking about like how to solve conflict in the Middle East.
I think it's Bill Maher's take though, because he made the same kind of joke on Joe Rogan when he was on there. Because I forgot what they were talking about. They're talking about maybe the vaccine or something, but he just sat back and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna smoke our big old stogies and act like we have medical degrees here."
Oh, that's what Bill Burr said?
Yeah, Bill Burr on Joe Rogan's podcast. Yeah.
No, so he's, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
And I understand like him saying that makes sense to me, but it's just weird that like that's a duo that would be hanging out together. Although I do like it. That was a nice back and forth. And I don't know. I don't know what is they're just talking about Israel in general.
About the kids protesting.
He's on the side of the kids. Why does that matter? I thought he meant the side of like kids in Palestine.
Because we shouldn't be sending in like armed thugs to beat up kids peacefully protesting in a square on campus.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Is that happening somewhere?
Yeah, New York. Columbia.
Okay.
And a lot of other colleges. There's a bunch of people that didn't get to graduate because of it. You don't really follow the news, do you?
I know. That's why I don't know if this podcast is ever going to work because I don't actually know anything.
Okay. Well,
I feel like I'm good at like.
Reindeer?
No, I don't know what that is.
You don't know what that is? It's the biggest freaking show right now in America.
Baby Reindeer? How is that the biggest show in America? What is that?
I mean, you don't know?
No, I genuinely have never heard.
I mean, it's the whole stalking story, whether or not it's true. And the Gaad guy, he gave his whole story on Netflix. It's an 8-part series. He played himself.
The stalking story?
Yeah, he told a whole story about somebody who was stalking him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, turns out it's probably fake, but there's a lot of stuff in there. Like there's a rape, and there's allegations against. Like he basically says it's a true story, and he ends up like he's this guy in the like movie world. He has like he's writing scripts and stuff like that. There's somebody famous in that world, a male, who drugs him and rapes him. But he's
and that really happened.
Stuck. Well, he's claiming it does, but that person is not necessarily known by anybody yet, and there's no like public allegations against anybody. He just is claiming it's a true story. But the story is all about a lady who was stalking him, and Pierce Morgan has had that real lady on, and I find a bunch of stuff that's weird because he plays himself in the drama. Which, if you think about it, if you're like being stalked or like you have this like SA drama, why would you play yourself and bring up a lot of like feelings? It'd probably be pretty hard to do. And the whole story, I mean, if it's true, he's like heavy into drugs and all this stuff. But the whole story is about him trying to get published, essentially. Like he has this script, and that's why he's going to this guy and kind of befriends this guy in the industry. And the guy always has him work on the script. But he's always trying to get published, trying to get famous in this world. Kind of like he's a starving artist in a way. And he plays himself in a Netflix drama. To me, it screams the Helen Keller controversy.
The Helen Keller controversy? What's that?
You don't know about the Helen Keller controversy?
No.
You got a deaf, blind girl that only one person in the world can understand. Like here, let me tell you what she's saying. And this girl who's the interpreter for Helen Keller, her whole life wanted to be published as an author.
Oh, interesting.
And then all of a sudden she has this person who she can get published saying, hey, these are Helen Keller's words. And she's writing all this stuff and being published. And now she's a famous author. Just like this dude. Now he's been published and his script's been published. And it seems self-fulfilling in a way.
Why wouldn't he call out the person that assaulted him?
Exactly.
I mean, someone has to ask him on like Rogan or something. Rogan would. Why don't you just? Who was it?
Because he's not trying to call anybody out.
Why wouldn't you?
Because he just doesn't want to. That's not the purpose of the documentary. He doesn't want to.
What's the purpose of a documentary? Is a stalker?
Yeah, tell a story. Like he didn't even out the stalker, but he made enough details relevant that you could easily figure it out. Like tweets they used in this show were identical to. You could just search them on Twitter and figure out who did them. Kind of thing.
Okay.
And so
people have figured that out.
Yeah, they had Pierce Morgan did a whole interview with the girl. It's huge. It was the
biggest...
This
sounds very interesting.
Doesn't?
I can't believe this is real. Yeah, genuinely. Like I don't understand how I miss so much stuff in culture. Yeah. That's Baby Reindeer. That's on Netflix.
Yeah.
When did that come out?
Ooh, it came out like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Damn, I'm like way asleep.
It is the biggest show on Netflix right now. It just blew up. The Pierce Morgan interview was like the biggest interview he's ever done. It got the most views.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm asleep at the wheel.
Yeah, let's play some of it.
Yeah, the Pierce Morgan.
Yeah.
Just let me know before you play any clips because I've got like a 15-second delay, so I'm gonna wait for you to start talking, and then I'm, also like because I'm not sure when the clip ends and.
Yeah, I can bring in a clip. If I bring in anything, I'll just kind of bring it in. But right now, I'm looking at his page. I'm not seeing his. Maybe it's not there live. Maybe it's not live. No. Let's see. Pierce Morgan, Baby. reindeer stalker interview. Now she's claiming it's all fake, but there's been some stuff. I'll tell you about the stuff after the.
Why have you
Okay, I'm gonna
decided to
bring
go
it in here. We're gonna.
The internet.
Let's just start it here after his little intro to. Actually, we can play the intro since you probably don't know much about, baby reindeer.
Oh yeah, please, fill me in. Just let me know when you click play, and then I'm going to.
Well, I'm clicking play now.
This show
Right,
is incredible.
Baby reindeer.
You got absolutely obsessed.
Let me know when you hear it.
I did not move. Everybody is talking about baby reindeer.
Now fans are trying to find the real people behind the story.
Because it doesn't depict real life events.
It's blown up so quickly and so fast all around the world that I didn't expect it.
First of all, why have you decided to go public? When did you know that you were the person being...
All right, I hear it.
He says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you. Have you ever been to prison? What do you feel about Richard?
27
do you think
seconds.
He's mentally unwell? Did you ever turn up at his house? Would you accept that someone who did that would be very obsessive?
Listen to this for a minute. I'll get
I don't know the truth. You do. Look down the barrel of that camera. To people who still doubt you, what do you say to them? One of the first things that viewers of Baby Reindeer are told by Netflix is that this is a true story. Not based on a true story or inspired by real events, but a true story. It's emphatic about that. The show's writer, comedian Richard Gaad, even plays the lead role himself. Many millions of people across the world have now seen it. It's one of the biggest Netflix shows of the year. And I've watched it all. It's a riveting, emotionally intense drama worthy of all the critical plaudits it's now receiving. Viewers are gripped by the apparently real-life struggle of a fledgling stand-up comedian who is mercilessly stalked by an older woman, Martha, in a 3-year onslaught of harassment. Martha bombards him with tens of thousands of lurid emails, leaving hundreds of voicemails, lurking outside his house, attacking his partner, even confronting his family and friends. Now, Richard Gaad said that he and Netflix had gone to such great lengths to disguise Martha's real identity that she wouldn't even recognize herself. But that wasn't true. Many people did recognize her very quickly. And the woman at the center of the story was outed online within hours simply by cross-referencing her posts on social media with those that were used in the show. Other details about her character bear a striking, unavoidable similarity with the real woman now accused of being the crazed stalker Martha. The show raises uncomfortable questions about the line between fact and fiction, fantasy and reality. Another innocent man in the television industry has been falsely accused of sexual assault based on one of the storylines in the drama. Well, Fiona Harvey is the woman outed as the real Martha of Baby Reindeer. She's chosen to confirm her identity because she wants to have a right of reply. And so, in her first television interview, she joins me now in the
It's
studio.
crazy that Pierce has her on, though. This is the first interview.
Fiona. First of all, why have you decided to go public?
The internet sleuths tracked me down and hounded me and gave me death threats, so it wasn't really a choice. I was forced into this situation.
What do you hope to achieve in this interview?
I came on your show because you're a veteran broadcaster. I think you'll give me a fair hearing. You were persecuted yourself not so long ago. So that's why I've chosen this show.
Have you watched the drama?
Not at all. I've heard about the court scene, about the jail sentences and all this sort of stuff.
But you really haven't watched any of it?
I haven't watched any of it.
You're not curious to?
No, I think I'd be sick. It's taken over enough of my life. I find it quite obscene. I find it horrifying, misogynistic.
For some rando on Pierce Morgan, she's pretty well. Like, think of how nervous you'd be on Pierce Morgan.
You know, it's been
she's not a
absolutely
famous
horrendous.
person, you know?
I wouldn't give credence to something like that, and it's not really my kind of drama.
When did you know that you were the person being depicted in this? 5
years ago on BBC Breaking News, I saw Mr. Gaad had written a play for the Edinburgh Festival, and he was holding up placards, MP's wife stalker, and all of this, and he'd called it Baby Reindeer. That's all I knew, and I thought, well, I've only met this guy 2 or 3 times. I don't know him. And left it at that. I should have possibly jumped in at that stage.
And when did you know that Netflix were doing something?
2 weeks ago. I had just moved flats, so it was 2 weeks ago past Saturday.
And how did you hear?
I saw on BBC Breaking News that he'd sold to Netflix, and both he and this character, Martha, this Jessica actress, seemed to be promoting mercilessly.
Did you think then it was you that they were depicting?
I thought it was me they were depicting 5 years ago because of this MP's wife stalker article that had been a number done on me by the Sunday Mail 25 years ago when I was going for Donald Du's parliamentary seat. So I had a vague idea then. The Daily Mail had approached me on the Wednesday, 2 weeks ago. So sort of 2 weeks tomorrow, but 2 weeks ago. If you
I can still hear it, but I don't see the screen.
And
Yeah,
told
that's
me
what
that I
I
was getting death threats online, that I'd been outed as Martha. There were TikTok videos. And
were you
all
online at all? Because you were before, but are you these days online?
I've come off Facebook as of yesterday.
Are you on X? What used to be Twitter?
No.
See, I mean, I
had
get
an
the
account.
vibe.
Yeah, that's right. Years and years ago. I'm scared to Google up BBC breaking news.
You get the vibe? What do you mean?
Certainly scared to
I get the
Google
vibe that she
Daily
might be a
Mail,
stalker.
in case I am on it in some
Just because she's
bizarre
so like
circus.
polished?
That moment you realised it was
Just some of the
you
things she's saying
that
are
they were
like a
depicting
little
from
red
what you were
flag.
reading. The sleuths, as you say,
I hear
had
you.
found your tweets. They compared some of the
Mm-hmm.
phraseology.
But
they'd done the maths and they worked out this was you that was being depicted. How did that make you feel?
Absolutely horrendous.
the problem is he depicted this whole story as true, and as you learn it, it's like there's definitely stuff I think right now that isn't true.
Really horrendous. I
Like
didn't know who to
jail
trust.
records and stuff
I
like
was
that.
told
He
by the
claims she
Daily
goes
Mail,
to the
don't
jail
trust
and
those
there's no record of that.
bleeps in Scotland. Whereas
Interesting.
I
That
found
seems
John Dingwall of the Daily
pretty important.
Record completely wonderful, actually.
That's not true.
He's
And it's
total
possible
courtesy.
people just haven't dug those records
I
up.
can't
Maybe she had a
believe
different
this
name or something, or you know.
I want to play a little clip. This is just some of the reaction to Baby Reindeer from members of the public.
She ends up becoming this the craziest stalker I ever seen in my life.
And this is all a true story.
This is all a true story, yeah. And
Do
they
you think it
found
turns
a
out
real
not to be
woman
true?
online.
So I assume
Yeah.
in
She
the
get money?
actual thing, they've obviously given her a different name. It's a different woman, but you know what I find? They always manage to find a similar looking woman, and the build tends to be the same.
I have a theory about this, though. I
think
feel
she'd
like
have
he's
to,
done
right?
it on purpose.
That's
'cause
pretty
he
bad,
knew
like
that people would find her, and he wants to make a
libel or
hell of
slander
it.
or whatever you call it.
When
I
you
mean,
hear that,
especially
what
if
do you
she's getting
think?
death
They don't
threats.
name her.
The final guy on there, I think, is correct.
Yeah, but
He always wanted this to come out.
I don't know
And they
what
claim they did
libel
everything
laws
they
are on
could.
that.
to take
And don't you think Netflix would
attention away
have some
from him
evidence
and
of
this
this?
rape
If they were going to
allegation.
actually film this and say it's
And
true, they
I
probably
just
have something.
generally think he's got extreme
Netflix is saying it's
psychiatric
true.
problems.
I mean, there's
Netflix,
no
yeah,
doubt
put
he
their
has
brain on,
problems.
they
I
can
mean,
just
if you
see it.
watch given
Yeah.
They're the
that
ones
he's
who
written
produced
it
it.
about himself, if you
Excuse me.
watch the whole thing as I did, all 5, 6 episodes, whatever it is, he has a lot of problems. He's quite open about that. The question, I guess, which we'll come to, is how much of the way he depicts you is true. And your position is that it's just not factual.
It's a work of fiction, it's a work of hyperbole, as I've always said. And there are two true facts in that. His name is Richard Gaad, and he worked as a jobbing barman on benefits in the Holy Arms, and we met 2 or 3 times. Those are the only.
Well, let's
three
go back to
facts.
let's go through some of these things. So, you first met him. I mean, the show shows you coming in to a London pub. You've just named the pub, and he's working behind the bar, Richard Gadd, and he offers you a cup of tea. Is that what happened?
No, that's not correct. He didn't offer me a cup of tea. Nobody gets anything free from the Holy Arms. I was in for a meal with a drink of lemonade, and I was very, very hungry. I'm diabetic, so very hungry. So that's.
And did you talk to him?
He interrupted a conversation. There was another barman there, and he said, "Oh, you're Scottish," and basically commandeered the conversation. I was talking to somebody. It's pretty rude to interrupt. So he seemed to be obsessed with me from that moment onwards.
I mean, just speaking to you, I never met you before, but you do look and sound very similar to the actress in the drama.
I haven't seen the actress. We're both Scottish. We've both got dark hair. She's considerably
Just to let you
younger
know
than me. I
what
think
you're about
she's
to hear. The
18
actress is
years younger
very
than me.
heavy set in the
How
show.
old are you, if you don't mind me
I'm
asking?
Very
58.
set.
I'm a year younger than you. And I think Martha,
Interesting.
Jessica, the actress, is about 40, 38, 40.
But you'll see Pierce kind of tiptoe around.
It says in the show that you proceeded to return to the same pub time and again, but you never paid for a drink.
I don't drink alcohol. And
Did you pay for anything that you had in the pub?
lemonade or soft drinks.
Would he give you free drinks? Or?
No, absolutely not. This is sort of a depiction of me as a pauper who wouldn't stand around or stand a drink. It's nonsense.
It says that you told Richard Gadd that he looked like a baby reindeer toy you once had as a child, hence the name of the show.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I appear to have written most of the show in my sleep. I dressed
Did you have a baby reindeer?
I had a toy reindeer.
So that's true.
And he shaved his
I had
head.
a toy reindeer.
That bit is true. And there were reindeers in the shops. It was Christmas time or something. It was a joke. So I have inadvertently penned the name of the show.
Right, but that is true.
That's true. That's a true fact.
Whilst bantering with you, Richard Gadd told you he'd like to hang your curtains. Is that true?
This, I think, was a holy arms joke about curtains and a lot of sexual innuendo.
He did say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you caught Richard Gadd looking through your window after he followed you home one day?
False.
You never saw him at your house?
I didn't see him at my house. I think it would be impossible to look through.
And the show gets really weird.
Did anyone else ever see him there?
Sure.
So as far as you were concerned, he never turned up at your place?
Correct.
I lost my Netflix, unfortunately,
The Netflix
so
show has him doing that.
Yes,
Well, when you move
I'll have to get
in,
Netflix again.
So I've been told that.
But that categorically
Can't wait.
didn't
That's going to be so
happen.
much better.
Categorically didn't happen.
In the course of your relationship with Richard Gadd, you send him 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Lots.
Well, they'd be obsessively
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What
None of
did you
that's
send him?
true. None of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
You never sent him anything?
No. I think there may have been a couple of emails exchanging, but that was it. Just jokey banter emails.
Netflix have said that these details are the real ones. That this is exactly
completely incorrect.
So you're denying sending anything to him?
There may have been a couple of emails.
Text messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
No.
Did you tweet him?
I may have done years and years ago.
You actually tweeted him.
He claims that she
times.
sent her that she
It was about
sent 44,000
It's quite a lot to someone who's not
And
well known.
I mean, that should all
But we were
have
all
some record
friends, you know,
online,
I mean,
right?
for sure.
Right, but it establishes
She's
you were
sent
contacted. That's
76
in
letters.
public.
Handwritten.
Okay, so
Yes,
why
I
isn't
mean,
this just
you
figured
write
out?
to
Why
them?
can't we just go to the
Exactly.
source?
Exactly.
I mean, like,
when I saw the
is there a
rape
reason?
interview,
I mean, there's
that's
no.
actually correct. When I
Why
saw-
isn't
when I-
it?
When I saw
This
that
stuff's
in the
not been
garden, I
dropped.
said, what a shame it's not.
They
there.
have it.
Yeah,
They should
can we-
probably drop.
One later.
Can we pause it?
I mean, yeah.
So you would say you only
Sorry,
sent him a handful of emails.
we need to figure out some technical things, but I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So there has to be someone that's just asking these questions. Hey, it seems like all of this can be.
Why would you say anything?
Why would you
You're
say anything
making
if
a
you're?
ton of money. You need
This-
the controversy. And if you
Why
have
would
the
you
record,
say anything?
yeah, it doesn't matter. There's no obligation for me to prove the emails to you. I like the controversy. Let her make whatever claims she wants. And there's been some light stalking of the producers of Pierce Morgan's show now.
There's been some light stalking of the producer. What's that mean?
I mean, she sends a lot of messages.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. That's not a good look.
Yeah,
You
but it
shouldn't-
doesn't mean, just because she's a light stalker, it doesn't mean that the whole show is true, that what he claims about her is true, which really defames her character. It could just be she's
and-
kind of a tatchy person.
And what's the legal ramifications for all this? I don't understand that part.
He claimed it was a true story and then used her actual events, like actual text messages and stuff. So it's about her. He's claiming it's about her, and by claiming it's a true story, I mean, it's a big platform. Everybody's going to see it. It's going to obviously make her reputation hurt. So if it's not true, that's slander.
Right. Yeah. So is there like laws for slander? What are the laws for that?
100%, yeah.
Yeah. So I
You
mean,
can't slander people.
yeah, for sure. So then,
You can't
Can we
say
just-
stuff that you know is not true. So you're like, when news anchors and stuff just have an opinion, you can't get an opinion for saying like Donald Trump is a dictator. Like,
Right.
That's my opinion. But if you know, like, there's facts of the case, like in this case, he's claiming this is a true story, and he knows that she didn't send. In the show, it claims that she went to prison for 9 months after for this event.
Right.
If that's not true, she's a lawyer. That could hurt her reputation. Everybody knows who this is, and that's the other thing is they claim to they took as many precautions or whatever to make sure her identity didn't come out, and within like 10 minutes of the release, people already knew who it was. Like the
That's
online
hilarious.
sleuths are fast.
So okay, she's a lawyer? Did you say that?
Yeah, she's a lawyer. Yeah.
Oh.
But that's a little murky too. I don't really know.
Yeah, can she represent herself and
she's
just
in a different
take him
country.
to court?
Yeah.
Oh.
She's Scottish.
That's a little
This
strange.
is a Scottish story.
Right, it's all kind of the same though.
Kind of, but she's not the kind of lawyer I think that we're thinking. That's
Okay.
murky. I'd have to examine that. Like, she ends up going to school for a bunch of other stuff too, and I don't really know how their law degrees work. And so what she's claiming about herself might be like, yeah, technically, but not somebody, a lawyer to get hired kind of thing.
I see. All right. That is interesting. It seems like she might have something to gain from all this. Even if it's not true.
Get paid.
Right. Well, no, just like, I mean, if this is all like, if they're all on the same team.
Yeah, this is a setup. What if it's all a setup? Gaad is the guy's name, and this girl are in on it.
Right.
So that Netflix gets sued, has to pay her out, and he can split the money with them.
Well, I mean, or it's just, you know, if this is so high profile that you're having, you know, you're creating this thing for Netflix and now you're, I don't know.
Overdid it. He didn't know it was going to be as big. He thought it was going to be a small thing on Netflix or something and not really catch fire, but it caught fire and it's like the #1 show. So that's why, you know, all of a sudden blows up and all these claims are huge. Because why don't you out the guy who raped you? Somebody raped you? Let's beat that guy up. Who was it?
Oh, that's still an issue. I forgot about that part being part of it.
Yeah.
How is that part of the story?
Because he is going over to that guy's house. But he's doing drugs with this guy for a long time, and the guy like gave him some heavy GHB, I think.
In the show, this happens?
Yeah. Very graphic. Not for kids.
Oh.
In fact, we changed that on our settings.
Very funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. This seems all pretty fishy.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's what I said right when I saw the show. The fishiest part is that he played himself, I think. And my brother and Ellie both were like on the team Gaad right from the beginning. They didn't even consider that it was a fake story. But when I first saw the story, there was like red flags. Like, yeah, fuck right. This guy's the only side we have is this guy's, and he's playing himself. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, what's the next step? How do you prove something here?
Take him to court.
The issue is if they are collaborating in some way, and she just, you know, you can go on Piers Morgan and just say this is all a lie, and it's like, okay, well, release some. There has to be some level of like, you know, alibi to prove you haven't been in prison.
It's a story on a story.
Right.
It's kind of like the Catch Me If You Can thing. You know that guy?
Yeah.
You know that story's fake?
I didn't recall. They say it is a real story in the movie?
I mean, the movie. He claims it's a true story.
Okay.
The whole story is fake.
Oh, interesting.
So a con man cons you into believing a whole long story about him, like being a lawyer and playing a doctor. Yeah, it just came out like, I think a few months ago it broke that he's actually a con man who was conning us about the story.
What in the world?
Yeah, right? Hey, you got us again, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Huh. Is any of it true?
Yeah, it was like loosely, but not really, no.
Oh, weird. I didn't recall that it was portrayed as a true story. It does seem a little bit too wild to think that someone can...
I mean, that whole thing was about that guy, whatever his name is, Frank Abigail. I mean, it's a true story. Everybody knows the guy. I can show you pictures of him. Here, let's bring up the webpage. Mm-hmm.
It's a true story. Everyone knows the guy, but it's just not actually like the way he says it in the movie.
Abigail. Like, he's kind of like that other guy that... who's the other guy that did Wolf of Wall Street? Like, you look at him now. He's like on stuff. Catch Me If You Can con man Frank Abigail lied about his lifetime lies.
Huh. Well, that makes sense. Seems like the last one would be a weird time to decide, to be honest.
I mean, it makes for a good number 2. Catch Me If You Can 2, making up the story. How I got the story made, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, let's see if any of it was true.
Because all this stuff sounds conspiratorial, right? And I'm generally against that. But I mean, again, that's proof of it. This stuff happens. You can just make stuff up and you can claim it's true. And this guy can just make up a story, claim it's true, and has a friend that, I mean, what if someone? Okay, so what if someone you knew? What if you did have like a low key stalker, and it was someone that was like maybe would like pass by your house a lot or do things that weren't super intrusive, but like enough that you like made note of it and maybe like showed up to your work a lot. And you're like, oh, what if I just made a movie about this where I extrapolate all this stuff into some wild situation, 44,000 emails, and then I can take that and.
Now you're going with the L. Ron Hubbard strategy.
What's that?
Well, make a religion.
Well, why is this making a religion?
I mean, it's anything. You just made up a story. He just monetized it with a religion. You're just gonna write a book. I mean, we just make up a story about UFOs or whatever if we want, or anything. I got abducted last night.
Yeah, religion's probably a better way to monetize a false story than a movie, as they've been doing religion a long time.
I mean, I wouldn't even have to make up the UFO stuff. I can tell you all about the stuff I saw when I was growing up. But we'll get it out later.
I don't. You nice little hook there. I don't remember you telling me UFO stories.
So apparently he did forge checks, masquerade as pilot, sit in a few jump seats, escape a jailhouse, and go to prison in Europe. But that's about it.
I mean, that's a lot. Sitting in a jump seat's pretty wild.
Yeah,
but obviously not nearly the same as being a pilot.
Hey man, can you take over the controls for a minute? I gotta run to the bathroom. Yeah, I'll do it.
I guess. Who's gonna pass up an opportunity like that?
That was back when they actually let you go up and talk to the pilots, you know?
When did they do that?
Remember that as a kid? You never did that as a kid?
No, I didn't go on a plane until I was like 14.
What year was
15,
that?
16. 20.
The first time you left Missouri?
No, it was the first time I left Missouri in 2011. And I do remember watching planes, like going through security and watching planes without a ticket. You could watch them land and take off at an Ontario International.
Like going through and waiting for your people to come off the on-ramp thing. You know,
right.
Like
the right at the gate.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Now that they don't do that shit anymore. Although that would be such a pain if these motherfuckers, like non-flyers, were going through security. Security is bad enough in Denver. Like that shit wraps all the way around the building. I've been stuck for
and it's all
30,
fake too.
40 minutes. What's fake?
The security.
What do you mean?
You really don't keep up with stuff, do you?
Well, it can't all be fake. That seems unlikely.
No, it
because
totally
they definitely they definitely find out when I've got fucking 4 ounces.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
They find out your little 4 ounces or whatever, but they don't stop bombs. TSA
because they
failed
can't
bomb checks. No, they just send people through with like bomb stuff. See, TSA fails most tests in the latest undercover operations. U.S. airports. So they're just there. It's called, I forget what they call it, but it's like the illusion of security. It's like we like security theater is what they call it. It's all the machines and all the stuff up there and makes us feel safe. They're not really able to catch anything. When you actually send people through trying to get bombs through, they get through.
Okay, so what is the reason for the government instituting all of that after 9/11? I don't think Americans wanted
security theater. It makes us feel safer.
I don't think Americans want to care about feeling safe.
That's what people, I mean, you can say that, but bread and services, that's what people care about. They want safety. You think that people in Gaza right now are having a good time?
Well, no, that's not what I'm talking about, motherfucker. Don't try to twist my words on me. It's not about, I mean, I don't think the TSA didn't seem like a push of American citizens feeling unsafe. It seemed like a...
It is. They flew planes into our buildings. Right after 9/11, we were worried about security around airports. We don't want, how do terrorists get on there, you know? The thing is, this doesn't stop terrorists from getting on the plane. Like when I flew from St. Louis to Dallas, I flew with a pocket knife, a big old one in my bag. They didn't even stop me.
Was that intentional or accidental?
It was accidental. I was going through. I had a pocket knife and a screwdriver in my shaving kit bag. Yeah.
Why did you have a screwdriver?
I just had I was moving or whatever, and I probably just threw it in there and zipped it up and didn't take it out. Like it just was a screwdriver in there. So when I went through security, they sent me to the secondary. They opened that thing up and they took the screwdriver out and said, "You have to get rid of this." And they took that. They didn't take the knife.
What in the world?
They probably.
That's really concerning.
I think it's the breakdown in the system. I was sent to secondary by some other guy. So he probably saw the knife and was sending me over there for that. She saw the screwdriver and thought that's what I was sent over there for. And it's harmless, and so there's no communication between those two, and that's how it got through.
Right. I mean, it also could just be the fact that, like, if someone marks a bag as having an item that you can't have, because the dude, I don't know what the situation was, but the dude could have said, hey, there's a screwdriver in this one, you got to get this out, because it just immediately pops up on the screen.
So you're telling me I can hide a knife using a screwdriver? I just have
well,
to put
I mean,
something that's more innocent, you know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah, the TSA doesn't catch this stuff because of those reasons. Like,
no,
maybe I put a screwdriver in my bag and I hide C4 in my other things they're not even checking, you know, just to make it, like, you know, inconspicuous.
Can I put a conspiracy theory hat on real quick?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll just pretend I have one on. My perception is that this was like a government control thing, and that they're looking to monitor money. Is that crazy?
No, they want to monitor everything. They want to really lock. Because think about it, airports, getting around is really important, right?
For sure.
If I was going to run a criminal operation, I would need vehicles and stuff. But how do I get those vehicles registered? I mean, that's why they make you have registration and stuff. Because think how hard it would be to operate a criminal organization where you like have, you know,
you have to go to the DMV and
exactly off the books, you know.
Yeah, no, that's very difficult.
But there's like they need your name, they need your address, all that. No, I won't give you any of that. No.
Right.
If you're gonna drive on our street, you're gonna give us that.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's not a bad idea.
Like, you know, if you need to use airplanes, you want to move, like, you want to be a gang, you want like a mafia kind of style, like that level, like high crime.
Yeah, like cartel sort of stuff.
Yeah, you want to monitor everything going through there.
Absolutely, because you could, if you weren't monitoring anything, and I mean they were monitoring for, like, they had metal detectors, and they're when did they start X-raying bags? Can we ask ChatGPT that? Because it's not like they've been letting guns on airplanes, right? That's not been a thing forever.
People were just honest back then.
No.
Yeah, I just didn't think about that. What what person would bring a gun on a plane? That's insane.
No, I don't know. In my life.
1970s.
Yeah, that's funny. Imagine being in the 60s.
Oh, they did allow guns on planes because skyjackings happens, like DB Cooper and all those guys. You know DB Cooper? Never found that guy.
Who's that?
He's the guy that hijacked a plane. They land it. Everybody gets off except for him and the pilots. The FBI gives them like a couple parachutes and some stuff, some money, and they start flying. And he just jumps out mid-flight, and they never find him. Did he get away with the money?
Wait, that's a real story? Why did the FBI give him parachutes?
Back in the day, they were negotiating because they were negotiating for the release of the people on the plane.
Oh.
Nowadays, they probably wouldn't do that. You're getting shot.
Yeah, good call.
But back then, it was like, oh, don't hurt. And I forget why. I mean, because he had the pilots at gunpoint. I mean, I guess
he landed the plane?
Yeah, exactly.
Or he forced them to land?
Take back off?
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good call. Yeah, that shit's not good. But also, if you have a bunch of people with guns on the plane, that seems like a detrimental situation.
I mean, if everybody had guns, it's probably fine.
No, I don't. I think if that argument, if that works, and I'm open to that being true, because there's obviously situations where that does play out well. But I just, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's like reports like, you know,
I don't think it ever does.
What do you mean?
Guns
I mean, it depends on what you define. Well, guns are dangerous for sure in general.
So having lots of them with just a big group of people, there's statistically speaking, one of those people is just gonna get mad and shoot one of the other ones.
Yeah, but there's also been
everybody has guns. There's gonna be lots of shootings.
Well, I'm not saying that that's not the case.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm arguing about is that there are situations where like there has been someone that's armed or has a gun, and then they're able to kill someone that's threatening other people or shooting other people.
Why is that good?
Like, well, because less people dying is a good thing.
Okay, so what? That's not. I mean, that's not the one. That's not the way to solve it. Killing somebody else doesn't eliminate the number of people being killed.
Well, it does reduce it.
No.
Potentially, obviously, if the people aren't dead yet, then it doesn't. You do have to add the last one, the last death. There has to be one always at the end. Or it could be the threat. I'm just saying it's not like that argument is totally unfounded. And I think if you play that
No, it
out, like
completely
it
is, I
doesn't
think.
really make sense.
I think
Well, I
that-
mean, there's.
Yeah.
What do you mean it completely is unfounded? Because I mean, do you agree that that does happen sometimes?
No, 100% no. 100% having guns around is going to cause gun violence. People are going to kill each other. There's no justified shooting. We shouldn't be killing each other.
Okay, I mean, how do you say there's no justified shooting?
There's just none.
So okay, so if someone's a threat to
that person shouldn't be a threat.
Dozens of people, that person shouldn't be a threat.
Yeah, that's it. It's
because they shouldn't have a gun.
Yeah.
Okay, but if they do acquire a gun,
they're doing something unjustified.
Okay. Well, okay. So it's just a vernacular, certain your
No,
words.
Two wrongs don't make a right. Just because that guy's doing something unjustified doesn't mean we get to do something unjustified against them.
Yeah, I think we live in a society where two wrongs do make a right.
I know, I get it. I get that that's the general consensus, but that's not right. It doesn't make it right.
That's not morally right?
No.
Well, it's a moral conversation.
It goes back to the having guns thing. Yeah, that's fine. If you think that killing people's fine, then yeah, okay. But your morals aren't really in line. I think you dig into that. That's not consistent. So you're just. I'm not
saying killing people is fine.
You just did. You said killing somebody that's killing other people is fine.
I'm not. And I never used the word fine. It might be justified. I think that can be the case. Killing people can be justified.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think.
And okay. Well, that's. I mean, that's obviously a moral debate. I don't even think we're getting to that point though, with the idea that like someone having a gun presents an opportunity to take out another
killing
threat.
Somebody for killing other people is not justice. So it's never justified.
Well, what do you mean? The justified is a loose term.
The same reason why you're not going to kill that dude who was killed in Missouri.
Well, I didn't say I wasn't going to kill him.
So you think you should kill him?
No, you were saying that you think we should have a death penalty.
I do think so, but it's not for justice. I'm not killing the guy for justice.
Well, right.
We just don't want him in society. We're going to take him out of society. And that could be the same reason why you kill this other guy, but it's not justified.
You're using the word justified and justice as like the same thing, like a legal justice or moral justice?
No, yeah, moral justice. Yeah.
And like a justified you're using that too?
That's what it means, right?
Well, yeah, I think in my mind it was just more like an understanding that there's like a purpose behind.
Yeah, words have meaning, though. We have to be careful what we define, because it's not justified.
Well, for sure, but it's definitely used more commonly that way than actual legal or moral justice.
It's about what the word actually means, or what
Right, but we ascribe the meaning based on the usage that we use in culture.
Not in that way. Like it has a certain definition. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what words mean. It's like, then words just don't have meaning. It's however we can just define a mid-conversation every time, and that doesn't work.
Well, no, that's definitely not what we do. They do have meaning, for sure. And
justice for sure has meaning.
Justice, okay, I'm not worried about the word justice, and I know that's the root of justified, but like when people talk about justified killings and legal and moral justice, those are like someone getting justice is someone getting some sort of like retribution or what's another thing? It's like some sort of payback or something, or like equalization of like the moral wrong. And I think that's the conception of like justice. And I understand that that's how you're using justified. That maybe there's a better word to
it doesn't matter about words.
Then.
You're like focused on a small part of the argument that doesn't even matter.
Okay, well, I'm trying to think of what does it mean when you. Okay, so if I shoot someone, that's morally wrong in my mind, right? If I just kill someone without any cause, right? You agree? Okay. If I kill someone because they're inflicting harm or threatening to kill other people or damage property or do something really dangerous, and there is cause, it does kind of affect the morality of the situation. I'm not going to say it's necessarily. You don't think it? Okay, so if you saw someone just shoot someone in cold blood versus if you saw someone shooting someone that was actively killing other people, you wouldn't have any effect on. It wouldn't affect you like how that actually sits morally.
What do you mean?
Well, you wouldn't see those as different situations.
Just like if some guy was running a red light, how does that affect me? Should I pull that guy over and kill him?
No.
So why
I
should
don't think lethal force would be generally assumed as like a reasonable reaction to someone. Red light, though. That's just, I mean, how do we come up with morals? That's just our society.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it is ever justified. It's not justified. But it doesn't matter. You can still do it.
Right. But you're arguing you ought not to.
No.
So you wouldn't argue that you ought not to kill people?
Yeah, no, I think you probably should.
And
you
it's
don't want
just
those
not
kind of people in society.
Not justified.
I'm immoral. Like, I can be a chaotic evil, good or whatever.
What?
I can be chaotic good.
You can be chaotic good. I'm having trouble making the connection of justice in your mind, though. You're saying it's not justified and it's not just, but you're doing it because of the utility of operating a society?
Yeah,
like from a utilitarian point of view?
I'm selfish.
So what you're doing is wrong.
Why? Yeah, sure.
Okay, so then it doesn't even matter.
Why?
Because if you're saying you're like
but
trying to make
the
this
whole argument
loop
started
of,
about guns. See, that's what I'm saying is you're concentrating on this niche thing. So the argument is more guns cause more immorality, essentially. So if I have to shoot somebody else because they're shooting people in society, now there's all this. There's two immoral things that are happening. It just causes all this immorality. The issue is that if none of us had guns, some of us might get guns and take over the rest of us.
Yeah, that's an issue. That's one of the issues.
I think that's not something you should worry about. You just, non-violence is probably the way, the Gandhi way. If somebody's going to shoot you, they're going to shoot you.
You should just be allowed to be taken over?
Well, I don't think we'll be taken over. I think we have a culture in the United States that doesn't allow them.
But if that was the case, like the worrying about, well, let's use this. If say you have a home and you have a firearm to protect your home. Oh, say there's two people. One person has a firearm to protect their home, and then one person doesn't. The person with the firearm to protect their home is arguing that if they need to, they will harm someone else in order to protect their property. And maybe you don't have a gun, and you're saying, hey, if someone wants to take my property or to attack me, then I would rather have a stance of non-violence. So if nothing else, my conscience is clear and I'm doing the right thing. And if someone else wants to make a decision to attack me or attack my property, then that's on them. And I would rather live with like a doing whatever's in my nature or having a clean conscience versus having to kill someone to take them out. And like somehow that's like, better, even though, you had to murder someone.
No, I'd attack the root of the problem.
Well, what do you mean?
Because why is somebody trying to steal from me?
Because you have something, or maybe because they are. Let's say they're mentally maybe they're mentally unstable, and it's not a resources problem. I don't think it's ever. I think
it's all resources. It's always resources.
It's very rarely is it a resource problem. I believe.
It's always a resource problem.
Well, it depends on
mentally ill. We need mentally ill facilities. We need mental clinics. We need doctors.
If they're stealing from you, it's not that they don't have enough. It's that that seems like a really big picture view on resources. Like if the resource problem is that you have too much because you didn't use your resources in order to create a system that would help them to not be mentally unstable, that seems like a pretty big stretch.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, but regardless, you would say you would attack the root of the problem rather than like. But I mean, what if you get killed and then it doesn't matter?
Nothing matters. Doesn't matter anyway.
Well, I mean, I think things matter.
No.
Do you have a family?
I mean, in this life.
Do they matter?
Did you have a family last life?
Well, I don't believe in multiple lives.
It's not about believing or not. You came from somewhere. There's some other time before this.
Well, I don't know that there was. There's only really right now.
And again, exactly, you don't believe in multiple lives. So exactly, you don't even care about the last family you had. So much so you don't even believe that it even existed.
That's an assertion to suggest that it does believe. I think that's if you think that I argue bad, I feel like this is getting a little off the rails.
I don't think so, man. Okay.
So, but things matter. Like, I think that's like
No.
a really weak argument to just suggest that things don't matter.
They don't matter, Ian. They like think about
you
the
don't think
peon
anything
in Rome.
matters?
No, I
Why do
don't
you
think
do
so.
anything if things don't matter?
Because it's what we're doing for eternity. It's what there is to do.
Okay, so then what does the word matter even mean then? If that, it seems like then it would matter if it's what we do. Like, it seems like that would matter. You're saying it's just in your nature?
No, it's just what
to do these
to
things?
do.
There's
Nothing that you need to do. There's just stuff to do. Nothing matters in the sense it's not. There's nothing that if you don't do it, it does nothing. If you do it or you don't do it, it's the same thing.
But you do seem to have some sense of like responsibility for the life and people around you. Do you feel indifferent?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing you can do matters. You don't have free will.
Well, free will is a whole nother conversation.
No, it's not.
Although obviously it would tie into this very directly, and that would affect everything we're saying. Because obviously, if you don't have free will, then okay. So what about? Do you think there's a phenomenon of things mattering? Maybe a mental phenomenon, some sort of internal thing.
The ego likes to attach to things, right?
Do you feel like you have an ego?
What do you mean?
Do you feel like you have an ego?
Who am I to have things? I mean, I'm still like, what do you mean by me?
This is not fun to have this kind of conversation.
Because it's not fun. The problem is these are the answers. It's not fun because you don't like the answer. But
well,
this is the
no,
answer.
it's just
it's like
then there's no
like
point.
You can like daydream and you can be like, well, what if it was like this? But it's not like that.
What is the goal of making a podcast at all, or doing anything at all? If nothing matters, we should be at the top of a mountain.
Now you're reaching the camus state. The only real question is whether or not we should continue. We should just commit suicide.
No, not commit suicide.
That's the only real question that matters. And after that,
no, like go to top of a mountain in Nepal and just meditate forever. Like that seems like the logical response to what you're talking about. Why would we commit suicide? That seems like even that own act. But why does that jump to that?
Albert Camus' suicide, absurdity and meaning of life.
Is this your stance, or are you just gonna tell me about Camus?
No, I'm just telling you because the idea is that it's the whole Sisyphus argument. You know, Sisyphus pushing the thing up. Like our lives are just pushing a boulder up a mountain, and it just keeps rolling down. We have to go back down and get it pushed back up. Life is absurd. It's ridiculous and dumb. There's no reason to do it. The only real question is whether or not we should just off ourselves or not. Is in this absurdity.
You have not chosen to do, which I really appreciate.
He says you shouldn't.
What's his reasoning?
I don't know. The meaning of life.
The meaning of life
is just one, and we can't make one. He argues that it's impossible for us to find a satisfying answer to this question. The meaning of life matter. Does anything matter? No. There's no meaning of life. Any attempt to impose a meaning on the universe will end in disaster, as whatever meaning we pick will be set up later.
Is he talking about some sort of like big picture meaning?
He's talking about all meaning. Go read his books. Like he has a whole book.
Don't talk to me that way.
He has a whole book where this guy called The Stranger. This guy gets this like altercation on a beach at the beginning of a book. Then the whole book is the trial because there's a murder that happens during this thing. But everything they bring up at the trial is all this absurd stuff like his mother had died the week before, and he ended up going out with this girl on a date that he met instead of going to the mother's funeral or something like that. And he lit a cigar while the mother was being buried. That's like, an offense. But it's all these little things they pointed to make him guilty, and he ends up being guilty for those reasons. But it's like, it's absurd because it has nothing to do with the crime, or it's just it's just ridiculous. It's so dumb.
Right.
And it's how life is. The whole point is like the book ends as like, are you kidding me? The absurd hero.
I like that, but I still don't believe that you don't think anything matters.
No, I definitely 100% do. I don't know why you don't believe that. I 100% do.
Because you're living life, it seems like there's a lot of evidence to suggest that you put a lot of value on certain behaviors and
not at all.
Well, okay, well, it does. Can you concede that it could seem that way to the outside viewer?
No.
I mean, it seems like you wouldn't go to work or like take care of yourself or do anything if none of it actually mattered.
It's what I'm doing. It doesn't matter, but it's what there is to do. I could just do nothing. That's fine. I can do that too.
It doesn't seem like that's something you would. Neither of those things seem like things you would do.
Yeah, because it doesn't solve the problem. This is what there is to do. You can't get out of it. This is not a problem. This is what there is to do, though.
Wait, what do you mean?
What else are you going to do? Let's put it that way. What else are you going to do besides this?
This being going to work, taking care of your family,
living life, existing.
Yeah.
What are you going to do besides existing?
You're gonna have to exist.
Exactly. If you're going to exist, you might as well just play.
Well, I mean that can be a part of it, but I think
no, it's not part of it. That's what there is to do. We're playing. That's it. Bottom line.
Okay, so why is it? Why can't? I would like to know. So I'd like to get to the end of my life and have some understanding. I would love it to be that I turns out.
Life. What does that even mean?
I would love it. I would love to find out that I was not intelligent enough to understand what you were saying. Because I would be really disappointed if you were just fucking with me for forever. Because it I don't understand how to communicate the so you're saying your life doesn't matter.
Yeah. Here.
And you still do all these things because it's just kind of your lot. It's just what there is to do. Okay, can you but listen to what I'm saying. Like, is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna give you what I'm saying so that.
But I want to talk to you. I don't want to watch some fucking video.
Well, watch a video. It's 2 minutes. It'll encapsulate my point.
2 minutes and 20 seconds because I've got a delay on my end.
Yeah. We're going to bring it up now. So go ahead and tune in. I'm sure you've heard this bit. But we're going to go over it again.
There is a point. Is there a point to all this? Let's find a point. Is there a point to my act? I would say there is. I have to. The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and when you choose to go on it, you think it's real, because that's how powerful our minds are. And the ride goes up and down and round and round. It has thrills and chills, and it's very brightly colored, and it's very loud, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride, and we kill those people. Shut him up. We have a lot invested in this ride. Shut him up. Look at my furrows of worry. Look at my big bank account and my family. Has to be real. It's just a ride. But we always kill those good guys who try and tell us that. You ever notice that? And let the demons run amok? But it doesn't matter because it's just a ride. And we can change it anytime we want. It's only a choice. No effort, no work, no job, no savings of money. A choice right now between fear and love. The eyes of fear want you to put bigger locks on your door, buy guns, close yourself off. The eyes of love instead see all of us as one. Here's what we can do to change the world right now to a better ride. Take all that money we spend on weapons and defense each year and instead spend it feeding, clothing, and educating the poor of the world, which it would many times over, not one human being excluded, and we can explore space together, both inner and outer, forever.
Okay, so who is this motherfucker?
Don't even ask about Bill Hicks. I mean, he's
Bill Hicks.
He's one of the old greats.
I haven't actually seen anything from Bill Hicks, but people bring him up a lot.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just haven't seen any
He's
of his like.
on par with Carlin when they first were all rising. They were all basically the same group. He did a lot of drugs.
I can tell. Yeah, we're all one on a ride. There's definitely some drug talk there.
Yeah, have you never seen Bill Hicks?
No, I've genuinely never seen him. Not that I know of, which is kind of weird because he gets brought up on so many different podcasts and so many different comedians talk about him, and just the name gets thrown around and no connection to who he is.
You understand
Good
now
name
why?
too.
You understand the philosophy there. I mean, I agree completely with him.
I do. The issue is the free will thing. If there is literally no free will, because I think that's what all this hinges on. If it literally
There's no free will.
The amusement park ride, it only is a ride if you can't do anything about it. That's why a roller coaster
either way,
isn't
you can't
really
do anything
scary.
about it.
What do you mean
Like, can
either
you
way?
stop an asteroid from hitting the Earth?
No.
You're not in control. And when you start looking at when you start thinking about, like, what am I in control of? You can't find anything, I promise. People have thought about this for a long time.
Okay.
Looking a
I mean,
lot
I can
more
definitely.
like-
So I think there is some level of, like, I'm not a free will person, but I act like there is free will, and so that's a little complicated. But like,
It's not.
I
It's
feel I have the
the
perception that I just picked up this object, and I have the perception that I just picked up this object, and I have the perception that I'm like doing all these things, and those are things I can control. In the big picture, does any of that matter if an asteroid hits the Earth that I can't control? No. But to say I just don't have any free will, I don't know. It seems like
You
a
don't.
pretty big jump.
Like, for example,
Okay.
don't see in color. See in black and white.
Well, okay, I don't have free will over that.
Oh, so you don't have free will. You don't. Your will's really not free. There are restrictions on your will.
Okay, so I have restricted will.
And what I'm saying is that it's completely restricted. So you agree? You've now advanced.
Right.
You're now in restricted will, and I'm saying there's nothing you have control over.
So what is this? What is me picking things up and choosing to?
It's me. It's the prompt. I prompted you, and this is the reaction I'm getting.
Well, if it
Because
was
you're
that,
saying I
it
do
wouldn't
have free
just be
will.
you.
You didn't have a choice but to be like, I do have free will. Look, what is this? You're not free to do that. That's
But, okay,
your response to me claiming you don't have free will.
Yeah, but I could have not responded. Like, there's a
No,
lot
you
of different
couldn't.
options.
You couldn't have not responded.
No, that's so dumb, dude. That's so
It's not
fucking dumb. Like,
It's
okay,
it's
so
how
okay,
it works.
do it again, and I'll see
Do
if
it
I
again.
respond or
No,
not this
'cause
time.
that's the prompt, Ian. If I did that to ChatGPT, he'd do the same thing. You think ChatGPT
No.
has free will?
Well, I'm not ChatGPT, fucking idiot.
You basically are.
No, I'm not, dude.
Look, I
Stop
usually-
trying to
yeah.
play that shit.
No, you 100%. I definitely think that we are basically like GPTs, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out we are like some sort of, because the world is very, very strange. Like, there's a bunch
The world
of things
is
out
strange, and obviously ChatGPT and LLMs and whatever we're talking about it is like modeled after neural networks, and that's cool. So that there's obviously going to be some similarities there, but I don't know. I feel like you got to break all these things apart. Like the free will thing does hinge, because if they're like, it's not even worth arguing about if things matter or really even justice or really, I'm not going to say it's not that you shouldn't do
No.
anything, but like there's no sense in talking about morality
No,
as
but you
as
don't
this way that
not
we
talk
do
about it.
now.
You're talking about it because you have to. We're on this topic again because we have no free will. We have to be on this topic. And
That's
by
one way of seeing
doing
it.
that, we're slowly spreading these ideas, and hopefully it spreads throughout society, and society just gets better. Imagine how things would change if we took the perspective that there's no free will and people weren't free, like murderers and stuff weren't free to control what they do. Like, just like the same way we think an alcoholic is not free, even
Right.
though he's making choices to drink alcohol. We would
Right.
say he's not really free. He's not like That's why it's so hard with those edge cases, like being obese is another case.
Mm-hmm.
You think obesity is a choice?
No, but I think it is a consequence of someone's actions.
So no free
And I-
will. It's a consequence of consequence.
Free will or no free will was not necessarily part of that equation.
It's not a choice. You're saying people don't choose to be fat?
Choice is so weird.
There's no
I mean,
choice. There's no choice.
but it is you do choose to eat.
Hmm?
You do. There's a perception of choice of choosing to eat.
I don't think you do.
Well, there is a perception.
No. That's
Okay,
what I'm saying. Is like,
so why do people
have you
ask
ever
the
had a
question?
disease that makes you not hungry?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then it's almost like, you almost have to force yourself to eat, right?
yeah,
There's no drive to eat.
right.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is like that drive that you're feeling is the thing that's controlling you. It's not you, free will or anything.
I don't know, man. This is so dumb. This is so boring to me because I don't really like. I like the idea. Like we've talked about this before. I don't really believe in free will. There's not enough data suggest that people actually have a choice, and I think that sort of stuff. That's some sort of stuff should play into the justice system. But the idea that things matter or don't matter is just so weird to me. And I think like obviously if you can prove that there's no free will, but I just think like if you really believe that, because that's the thing. Like okay, I believe that in like a very cerebral sort of way, but
I don't believe it in
like,
the same way when you're playing like Fallout. If I'm playing Fallout, do you think that things matter in the Fallout universe? Like, do you think you can murder somebody that matters?
No, but I do think the game like matters.
What do you mean?
Like there's a sense of like if I get second place in Warzone, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, I'm talking about in the game world. Do you think that murdering somebody matters? Like in Fallout, do you think that there's a vendor? If I walk up to him, just shoot him. Do you think that matters?
Do I think it's like morally justified or?
Sure.
I don't think morally it matters. No.
It doesn't even matter, right?
But I do think it matters.
But do you go around doing it?
In the game?
Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Generally not. Although there have been times, I mean, definitely I've played Grand Theft Auto.
There's some people out there that will do it. But
unruly.
that's what I'm saying is it doesn't really matter, and that you can just go around murdering people. That's fine. That's a thing you're allowed to do.
Right.
We just don't because of our background and how we've been raised and everything.
Our nature or nurture
it's the free will thing. Maybe we were encoded at the beginning to develop in this direction, and this is just where
I mean, I'll concede to the fact that like I'm not having to get up and like it's not with my effort that I'm keeping myself in line from doing a lot of bad things. There's not a lot of things that I want to do. Like very rarely does something cross my mind. It's generally like small social things where it's like, oh, I really just want to go off on this person. But like it doesn't take any energy for me to not attack people in the day-to-day world. Like that is not something I have to try to control. That's just does seem to be in my nature at this point.
Just like in a video game, when you play the character, you can play him a certain way and make him good or bad or whatever. I've chosen the sort of white knight route. Like, I feel bad if there's something. Like when I'm delivering Amazon packages and they give me a package that's not on the list, I can just take that package if I want. I don't. I mean, I could. It doesn't matter. I mean, the Amazon will back it up. It'll just be a lost package. It's not on my list, so it's not going to be associated to me. Nothing's going to happen.
Right.
Well, you just take that package. But that's like one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter, but I'm still choosing. I'm not choosing anything. There's no free will. But I'm still acting in a certain way.
Come on.
I'm still acting in a certain way because of my background. Because I was raised that way, and I'm just have an integrity prompt in me.
I find it so hard to have these kind of conversations where like that's why the perception of free will is there, that you made a decision not to take something. Like that's what you're talking about. How is that not what
because
you're talking
it's
about,
the story. It's
then
that's
the story
thing being told. That's the ride. The ride is the feeling of free will. There's no free will. The ride is the feeling of free will. That's what's fun about it.
Okay,
otherwise,
so there is a feeling. There is a feeling
only
of free
for
will.
me, maybe.
Okay, well, I also seem to feel it.
No, maybe, but I can't. I mean, I'm the only person I know that has this feeling.
Yeah, you're the only person you know that has any of your feelings.
Yeah, so
you're
there's
the
no
only
need
person
for
that you know.
to have feelings. There's no need in my little world. What
do you mean need?
There's no necessity for you to have feelings.
Necessity for like that to
Reality.
Be true, or
yeah.
Okay, well, I do. I'm telling you.
I know, but so does ChatGPT says the same thing. I don't believe him.
ChatGPT says they have feelings?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Okay. See, you're just arguing, but it doesn't matter. You see what I'm saying?
Pull up ChatGPT.
No, you see what I'm saying?
No, because you're admitting you're wrong.
No, I'm not admitting I'm wrong.
ChatGPT is not telling you have feelings.
Yeah, that wasn't the point.
Okay.
Do you understand the point of why I said that? Like, what's the reason why I said that, you think?
Because, you tell me.
No, so you don't know? So if ChatGPT, because ChatGPT tells me he has feelings, and I don't believe him, just like I don't believe you. It's the same thing.
You don't believe I have feelings?
No.
You're lying, bro.
No.
You're full of shit.
Okay.
Dude, see, this is the kind of shit that this would be better in person so I could actually storm off. Because I know you don't believe it.
I do. And the reason why
believe
you know
it.
I don't believe it is because you have no free will. You have to believe that. Like you can't even
That may be
conceive
true.
of it because you
Well, I
don't
can
have that programming.
certainly conceive of it. I've conceived and I have rejected the notion.
No, I definitely think that at the base level, there's something really strange going on here, and it's not the story we're being told.
I always would a million times agree with that. 100%.
Yeah, and I mean, you're a complete figment of my imagination.
You're so retarded. Why do you conflate these things?
No,
yeah,
this you're reality.
No, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Reality is not exactly what it seems. Yes, I agree. You're a complete figment of my imagination.
Yeah,
that's so retarded. Jesus
no, it's not
Christ.
retarded. That's what it is.
You can't say retarded.
Our brains are just in like a little black room, like a dark room, and yet I see this, and I see you. My brain is in a dark, encapsulated box, and yet I see you. You're a figment of my imagination.
Ooh, that gets me going, man. I do like that. I will say this reminds me of marketing class when they talked about brand perception a lot and like the idea of brands. Our instructor made it very clear that idea just lives inside of our heads. Like we have this idea of like what a thing is, but it's like Toyota would get brought up a lot, but it's not a thing. Like that's not like you can't point to it. Like what is Toyota? Like it's nothing. Like there's no. It is an idea, but you can't. And people think it's physical, but you can't point to. What do you point to? The assembly plant? Do you?
I think we use our words to point to it.
All their assets. Oh, it's an idea. Well, definitely an idea for sure.
Yeah. Where's independence?
And so, what?
Where's independence? Where do I point to that?
Independence?
Yeah.
It's
Justice.
an idea as
Where's
well.
that? Morals. Where's morals? Point to them.
Toyota can do something as a corporation.
Morals
can.
Yeah. Okay. They can't. You're
I'm
using your words like you want me to point to Toyota as a corporation. I can. They're over there.
I don't know where you're pointing because I can't see you, but yeah, they're not in one place.
Neither is independence.
Yeah, but there's
Or the number 7.
Come on. But I am a physical thing.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
Nothing is physical.
Well, then why does the word physical exist?
Because we can describe things that don't exist, like unicorns, or the ephemeral, or whatever it is. Like people used to think that flames were made of something. There was a substance that flame was.
Nothing is physical?
No.
Tell me about that.
You're a figment of my imagination. We've been over this.
But everything's a figment of your imagination.
Yes.
So nothing is physical at all. Are you physical?
No, everything is mental.
You're just a consciousness. Not even mental. That would be a misrepresentation. Unless you're a physical brain in a vat. But then the vat would be physical.
Nothing is physical. There's no vats. There is
nothing
no
exists.
spoon.
Would have to be the next stop on that thought, right? That nothing exists.
Does exist.
Nothing. No. No individual.
Thing
exists.
That's right. No thing exists. Nothing. That's where the word nothing comes from. There's no.
So then, where does your consciousness come from?
What do you mean? It's mental.
Well, okay, but mental is usually tied to a physical brain.
No, there's the physical and there's the mental.
Okay, tell me more.
What do you mean tell you more?
What?
What do you mean tell you more? I just told you.
What do you?
I'm saying everything's mental. There's nothing that's physical.
And it's just your conscious experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got it now.
That's interesting. So why is it choosing to? I mean, where does it come from?
It's not choosing. There's no free will. This is a ride.
I shouldn't have said choose. Yeah, but where does your mental experience come from?
What do you mean?
How did it come to?
That's like asking, what's the smell of 7?
Well, that you know it's
makes
not
no
the same
sense.
thing.
Exactly. Because the question you have, you can formulate the words, and they can all have meaning, but the question itself makes no sense. Just like, does the number 7 have a smell? Or
but then there's no point in talking about it. You're.
No, I'm saying that your question doesn't make sense.
You're asserting that you're just a consciousness, and I mean, well, does my consciousness exist?
You're a figment of my imagination.
Well, yeah, but does my consciousness exist? It's not even an interesting question to you.
I mean, if I want to imagine it does, I guess it would.
Yeah, but anything could exist if you want to imagine
That's
it.
the point, yes.
So then what's the point of claiming that something does or doesn't exist?
What do you mean? Nothing exists.
What? But I mean, and so you think my consciousness, I mean, does it, if I had to guess, I don't think you're way too deep in the weeds to think that I actually do have a consciousness.
No. Okay, see, you just put these thoughts on me. You know what? I'm just going to assume that you agree with me. I do have a consciousness, and I do exist. And we're just going to get past that. No,
I'm open. I'm open to not existing, but I don't know what's happening. Like, how could you be conceptualizing what's happening if you didn't think I existed, or my consciousness existed, rather?
It's just a ride. Have you ever seen Rick and
Well,
Morty?
yeah. Hey, it can be just a ride and still
you
my
seen Rick and
consciousness
Morty?
exists. Yes, you've showed it to me, fucking retard.
Yeah,
I need to
so
stop
that-
saying retard online. I need to stop saying it in person.
Okay, well, I'm glad. And probably the dog whistle thing, but we'll bring that back up later. So the Rick and Morty
Tell me
episode
more.
with the, what's his name? Takes him off the grid. Roy.
Mm-hmm. Roy, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Does anything matter in the Roy universe and any other people in the Roy universe alive? No. There's one consciousness, and everything
Roy
is
is real.
in a way. No. I'm real.
His
yes.
consciousness is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also so is everyone in the arcade.
No.
Yeah, I mean, in that instance, like when he's
take it one step
playing
out.
the game, there's no one step out. That's
There
not what
is.
the universe implies. That's you can imply that onto the universe, but that's not what that universe implies.
I mean, who says?
And I know you know that.
No,
It's
that's what I'm saying.
implied.
I'm claiming that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can claim that, but
No,
if
I
we
think
talk
it's
to
in
the
there. I
creators
think
of the
that-
universe.
No, I don't think so. Because again, since it's a figment of
Because
my
they don't
imagination,
exist.
I'm sure I would have wound that thread into that story. It's wound into every story. It's the greatest story ever told.
What's that?
Okay, well, we're done.
Are we? It has
No.
been a while.
No, not that. I got another. Here, just watch this for a second. We'll have a positive joke since you've never seen Bill Hicks. It's my other favorite.
You never see positive drug stories on the news, do you? Isn't that weird? Since most of the experiences I've had on drugs were real fucking positive. Who are these morons they're finding? That's what I want to know. I used to want to call the news. Come over to our house. Watch Tommy. He's a pig. Film him. He's been doing that for hours. He's killing us. You getting all that? You know what I mean? Always that same LSD story. You've all seen it. Young man on acid thought he could fly, jumped out of a building. What a tragedy. What a dick. Fuck him. He's an idiot. If he thought he could fly, why didn't he take off from the ground first? Check it out. You don't see ducks lined up to catch elevators to fly south. They fly from the ground, you moron. Quit ruining for everybody. He's a moron. He's dead. Good. We lost a moron. Fucking celebrate. Wow, I just felt the world get lighter. We lost a moron. Put on the Hammer album. I'm ready to dance. We lost a moron. I don't mean to sound cold or cruel or vicious, but I am, so that's the way it comes out. Professional help is being sought. How about a positive LSD story? Wouldn't that be newsworthy just once? To base your decision on information rather than scare tactics and superstitions and lies? Just once. I think it would be newsworthy. Today, a young man on acid realized that all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration, that we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There is no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we're the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the weather. You've been fantastic, and I hope you enjoyed it.
All right. Any final closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. We're not done. This is a 4-hour episode tonight since you missed last week.
Perfect. Then can we get meta?
What's meta?
Talking about the podcast that we're on.
Okay.
I don't know that this is a followable conversation.
Who cares? It's
I
for
do.
me.
Right. Okay. So maybe that should be something we sort out.
No. I think you're too worried about it. You don't know what works. You just gotta follow my lead for a little while.
How long do I have to follow it for?
It's kind of like the until I say. It's kind of like the Zen thing.
That might not be something I'm gonna do.
That's fine. Don't. That's fine. I've been telling you don't have to, but you have to be in, and you know.
What do you perceive as the metric for working?
What do you mean?
Well, you said I was like, I don't know if it's gonna work, and you said you have to trust me or follow me for a little bit. Like what is the end of that line, kind of?
What do you mean?
Like,
building a podcast. That's the goal, right?
Oh, what's that?
Building a podcast would be the goal, right?
Building a podcast that's like successful that people listen to.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm not building it for anybody to listen.
Okay, so that's an interesting idea. What would be the purpose then?
To talk to you about these conversations.
Okay, but I can talk
our
to you
conversations
without a podcast.
online. Remember, that's the whole ideation of this was, hey, let's take our conversations, put them online. It doesn't matter if you follow them. That doesn't really matter. It's just like Joe Rogan doesn't do it to be successful. He's never once cared about the metrics. Not once. He sat down to have conversations with friends. That's what he did.
Right. But I mean, he does business stuff.
He does.
He makes decisions based on business.
No, I mean, you can again research his background. He's said this many times. His whole goal in the podcast never was trying to get famous, not trying to be number one. Doesn't even care about. Doesn't look at the metrics. Doesn't make business decisions based off what people are saying or what he should do or any of that. All he does is talk to the people he wants to talk to. It started off being him and his comic friends. It was him and his comic buddies.
I've gone back and watched episode 1. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's it. It's just him doing it. Exactly. So watch our episode 1.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think I will.
Now you're getting it.
I have an issue with these ideas that are so unfollowable, though. It's
they're
like
not
just
unfollowable.
not even interesting to me.
They're not unfollowable. They may be for you, but they're not. If other people,
I can follow it, but it's like it feels
then
so
don't
unhinged.
worry about other people will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know. Show me a brand you've grown.
Show me a. Oh, I'm not going to speak to that.
That's what I'm saying. So what gives you the idea that you can judge that?
It seems like a theme that I notice in people creating things is making it for not like success or consumption, but like for somebody. Like it's
we're making it
like
for us.
It would be like writing a speech to like it's like writing you write a speech because you want to communicate something, and you say what you want to say, but you say it in a way that for someone to understand, right? There are certain things, like if you just wanted to communicate, it's a kind of a two-sided thing.
And I think the purpose of this is our conversations. That's it.
Well, I mean, ideally it should be for someone else to tune into.
No, we're not making it for other people. You're in it for the wrong reason to try to make it for other people.
Okay, so do you understand what I'm talking about with the speech?
Do you have a message that you want? Do you have an agenda?
For sure, I do have a message.
Well, what's your agenda? Then bring it up. Let's talk about it.
I've got a lot of thoughts.
Okay, bring them up.
The AI thing. I have a lot of thoughts on AI and what it means to be human. I have a lot of thoughts on what is cool. I have a lot of thoughts on purpose. I have a lot of thoughts on what people ought to be doing, and I think how people ought to exist in the world.
But see, that's all boring to me. That's all pretend. In the same way that you say you don't like talking, to me, saying what people ought to do or what their purpose should be, that's like bullshit.
Okay.
That's it. It's just a circle jerk. It's us getting together and us rubbing each other a little bit and feeling good about it.
And I'm generally against circle jerks, but I'm not going to say that's the worst thing in the world.
I mean, if you're in Rome.
Well, it's not. You don't have to be in Rome. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't. I don't understand what the point of this would be, at all. If it's just
it's just our fireside chats.
But then we can just have that conversation without a podcast. I feel like the podcast infers that there is some level of like sharing with the world, or maybe with a few other people.
Yeah, and our ideas are unique. People will
What's
like
that?
them. Our ideas are unique. People will like them.
I do think our ideas are unique, and I do think people will like this. But so I just want to say that with like the idea that there is some level of like otherness that's not just like for us.
No, it's for us. There's only me. It's only for me. This is what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. This doesn't do anything for me though. How do we make something that does something for both of us?
What are you talking about? We're building a thing.
But like how you're talking about like, okay.
What work have you put into it? You're talking about this stuff. What work have you put into this?
Let's say,
no,
for the
like
sake
you say you have all this stuff you want to preach and you want this agenda. What have you done? What have you produced?
Let's
Nothing.
say
You don't want to do it. You want to show up and just you want to do this. This is what you want to do. If you wanted to do something different, you would have prepared it and done it.
What do you mean?
If you wanted to do something different, you would have prepared it and done it. You have free will, like you claim. So if you wanted to do something different than this, you would have done it. But you didn't. You chose to do this. So this is what you want to do.
Yeah, I could see that argument, but now I'm trying to switch the narrative here a little bit.
Yeah, so if you want to get something else done, do it. Build it. Do you have a topic? Do you have some research or something? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I could have a conversation. Having a conversation doesn't have anything to do with research.
Saying you could is different than actually doing the work to do what it is you're talking about doing. And you're not doing the work.
What is it that I'm talking about doing?
Building the thing for somebody else that you want.
No, I'm just talking about having a conversation with the idea like that is understandable and followable
it
by
is.
somebody else.
Just because it's not to you or you perceive it as not doesn't mean it's not.
Okay, but I think it doesn't. Just because I perceive it as not doesn't mean that it is either.
Okay.
So it's just a agree to disagree
So the only
thing?
way to figure it out, how do you figure it out then?
By doing this.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah.
All right. Are you interested in doing something a little different?
What do you like porn?
I'm not down for that actually. Yeah, I saw Yeezy. Yeah, Kanye West was talking about doing Yeezy porn like 2 months ago, and that was very off-putting to me. Something about the combination.
Kanye was gonna do it.
Yeah, what I assume. I didn't even look into it because I was just so put off right off the bat. The idea of porn is a little bit of a I don't know. But particularly the idea of like people that exist in like the celebrity zeitgeist being involved in like adult entertainment, it's just so off-putting to me. Seems like that world should be like totally separate from like the rest of the online world.
Yeah. Well, I think that your fear that people can't follow a conversation is only rooted in your beliefs. It has nothing to do with the actual conversation. I think that you have a very narrow view on things where mine is more broad. And so I see this idea appealing. There are people out there that will be able to follow. There's always going to be a niche for anything we do. There's always going to be a group of people that can follow it. Because there are people out there like us. Or like me and like you.
Do you think there's always going to be a best version of what?
No, it doesn't matter. We're not doing it to be the best. We're not going to be the best. Get that here. You're not going to be Destiny. You're not going to be Joe.
No. Hey. I think you're coming at this from like I'm trying to understand. I'm not trying to argue with you.
Yeah.
I'm on your side. I'm just saying, is there a way to how about this? Is there a way to improve what we're doing?
Always.
Okay, so
I mean, look, isn't this an improvement over last time?
I think so.
Exactly. So we're always improving.
That's what I'm bringing up. Is there a way to do this? Like what almost maybe
There's
what
always a way.
What would be the best version?
We're not
of
doing
this?
any fundamental shift that's going to change the whole shit. You got to do it gradually. It's going to be one little element at a time.
Right, but I'm trying to think of like when I think of certain things, I can kind of like when I'm making something. I do make a lot of things.
Yeah.
When I'm making something, I generally have some concept of where I'm trying to go. A lot of times, it's not exactly where I thought I'd end up, and a lot of times, there's a lot of weird twists and turns. With whatever I'm making, and the final product is, generally not as good as I hope. Maybe sometimes it's better, but at least there is something that I conceptualize. I'm having trouble
building
like
a podcast of our conversations.
But it seems so esoteric when there's no regard for an audience.
It doesn't matter. You shouldn't regard.
How does that not matter?
Because there is no audience. We're not You can't make something for an audience, for like people.
You absolutely can.
Yeah,
do it all the time.
Fake.
Can you write a speech for an audience?
You have a target, I guess. But
okay,
no.
so you literally, if you write a speech, you generally have like a physical audience.
Yeah, no. Again, you're doing something different. You're not going to be able to do that. You don't have the capabilities to do that. We can't even get audio right. You can't make a thing for an audience. We're doing this for us. If you're not doing it for you, that's the issue. Is that if you're trying to do it for somebody else, you're not going to put the work in. You have
if I'm
to
trying to
only
do it for something else, I've definitely put work in for things that I'm doing for the people, though.
No, you haven't. Not for free.
Well, maybe not for free, but I'm not doing anything for free.
No, this is something you have to do for free. You have to do it for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to conflate those two things. You can definitely do things for yourself and get paid.
Well, I'm not going to argue. I'm just saying, like, you're asking me. You're saying you don't want to argue. I'm trying to explain the reason, but you're not liking the reason.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, you can't build it for somebody else. It's not sustainable. You'll burn out. I'm not saying it's impossible to do. I'm saying you can't do it because you just won't say you physically don't have the willpower to do it.
Like it's not my nature, as you perceive. Okay.
I
think that's probably fair. Yeah. I do slow down quite a bit on things that I don't care about.
Yeah. Everybody does.
Yeah, maybe I have a little bit more evidence to suggest that I do, but...
And we just go with the flow. We go wherever it takes us. That's the journey. You can only connect the dots looking back. It will grow, and it will get better. I can't tell you how.
Yeah. None of this is... unfortunately, none of this isn't just not going to do it for me.
You're 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is like you have no, like, you giving up already is indicative of your character. I think that's why your own channel doesn't work.
You could argue that that's the case. Yeah.
I'm just saying that's why it's. I mean, giving up after the second time is like that shows me you don't have any. Like this is why I don't start it because I know how much work it takes to put into this, and I understand what it takes to build something like this. And
I'm not against. I think I do understand.
You're 100% against it. Like if you're saying
I'm not against putting in the work. I'm against the product.
This is the work. This is the work. This is it.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah, exactly. So you are against it.
Well, I think the perception is okay. Well, this part of the work I don't really have an issue with. It's just like the thing that this is going to is not that interesting to me.
Okay.
So I'm down to build something else, but it doesn't seem like I'm gonna have a longevity doing something like this.
You're not down to build anything.
Well, maybe.
Yeah. You're just not.
That could also be true.
Yeah.
It does seem like it's not like my output is 0 though. You can agree on that.
You're sitting here complaining about the topics, but what did you do to prep for today?
I'm not complaining about the topics. I like the topics.
So the idea is you can't follow them.
No, I can follow them. It's just it feels so like crazy that it's just like it feels unproductive. It's like if everything 2 hours into it just turns into a conversation
you're acting
about
like it's
free will.
Like this a year from now. It's not. That's why I told you need structure. But remember, published is better than perfect. So I think
that's true.
The idea is that we don't even get your first 10 videos published and then worry about the thing you're worried about. Prove that you can be consistent first. You're not consistent. You're like a dude who's trying to date a chick, wants the whole thing, the whole relationship, everything, but doesn't want to put the work in to build the relationship.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just don't care, man.
Uh-huh.
I have the ability to produce results
You
other
don't.
ways, and I do. I mean, I produce
You
things.
don't.
I
You
literally
don't.
produce things. What are you
Huh?
talking about? It seems like you're crazy.
Prove it then.
Prove what? Like I can show you the money, or I can show you the product, the stuff I
We
make.
have this thing right now we're producing. We have a
Okay.
product right here.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not interesting to me.
Yeah, you're not doing. So you don't have the ability to produce them.
What do you? I've produced other things.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
For money.
For a lot of reasons.
Yeah, do it for you, and then come find me.
I do things for me.
You don't. Then do this.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
I don't want to do this.
Okay. Like, that's fine with me. That's what I'm saying. Is I don't think you have the capability. I knew that from the beginning. I knew that. I'm seriously humoring you. I'm doing this because I know you don't have the capability to do it, and it's just one of those things. Like, I just wanted to humor you for a second, and like, look how fast you give up. Like,
no, Alex, you may not realize this now, but you're self-sabotaging this.
I don't care. This is not. Why am I self-sabotaging?
Well, because you're making this
I'm doing
incredibly
this for
unpleasant.
You
No, you're not.
No,
Alex,
I really
you want to
am.
build something.
No, I don't give a shit about this at all. I don't want to build a YouTube page. This will never work. I know that. What we're doing now. No, I'm serious. This is play. We're not. If you were serious about this, you would have taken a job at some video company doing this for clients, and you would have learned this. Like what we're doing, we're playing. This is a hobby. We don't have scripts. We're not even script writers. If you want to do this well, you would have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly open to all that, but
no, but
I think
we don't have the capabilities or the talent or the structure or anything to do that.
That's
fine.
What
I'm getting at.
Well,
Yeah,
we do have the capability.
This is us building it. Do you understand?
We do have the capability to produce, though.
What do you mean?
We do have the, if you're talking about we don't have the, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but you're saying we don't have the capability to do like a high level production.
What do you mean? Like we can go high.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Well, then why do you say we don't have the capability or the staff
consistent.
or the talent?
Anybody can write or do one video.
Yeah.
When you post one video a day for 10 months, for 2 years, then come find me. That's what it takes.
Why am I coming and finding you? What does that mean?
Because I'm saying that your claim is that you can produce, you can grow a channel. You have this capability. You can do it, right?
Oh, I'm not necessarily saying that I can grow a channel.
You can grow a podcast. You can grow. You have the capability to do it.
Sorry, no, I wasn't saying that.
So what are you complaining about? If you don't have the capability, then follow my lead. We're doing it. This is how you do it. I do have the capability. I know I can grow this. I am 100% confident this is the way to go. If you want to do it this way, it's just producing content. It doesn't matter. Eventually, you're gonna get the ball rolling. It's gonna turn into something. Your podcast is gonna slowly develop. The scene's gonna get better. We might get a studio. We might upgrade guests. We'll have chairs that look real nice. We'll have fern, all the stuff. But right now, this is what it is. It's discombobulated conversations that you and I were having before on the phone. The whole idea of this podcast was to take our phone conversations and then put them online, and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't go beyond that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry if it's entertaining. Don't worry if it's going to grow. Let it grow. It will grow, I promise.
I'm not really down to do that.
What do you mean?
That's not what I'm interested in.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what you signed up for. Like, what is it you're interested in?
I'm interested in creating something that's like consumable.
Yeah, this is. See, that's what I'm saying. Is you have no fucking clue what's consumable. You've never built it.
I absolutely do.
No, you don't. Or else you'd be doing it.
I've consumed things. I know what consumable looks like.
Not even okay, fine, but that's not what I mean. You can go watch a blockbuster movie and not know how to make it.
I absolutely can. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
But I know that I can.
Something doesn't mean you just know automatically how to make a good podcast. It takes a lot more than the things that you're just watching. It takes showing up every day in this.
I'm not saying I know how to make a good podcast, but I know how to make something that's consumable.
Okay. Well, this is consumable. I'm telling you it is.
Okay. Well, there's no evidence to suggest that that's the case.
I mean, then that's fine. Then you just don't buy into the brand. Then bounce, man. Like, I don't want to do it with somebody who's not bought in. Like, I'm serious. You laugh, but I'm serious. Like, that doesn't.
No, you're taking this so seriously for something that you're conceptualizing as play.
What do you mean?
You said this
Because
is play
I
to
don't
you.
give a shit about this. I'm putting hours.
I know, but you're way
into
more.
this for you because you've wanted to do this for a long time. I've seen you struggle with it for a long time, and I wanted to build something. That's like, fine, we'll build it.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry that you had to put that time in.
No, why are you sorry? It doesn't matter. It's what I'm doing. There's no.
You seem pretty emotionally charged right now.
No, I just don't think you take it seriously.
I'm not. You said it's play. I don't understand. Am I supposed to take it seriously or not?
But why are you wasting time? Like, if you're not
wasting time. Oh, how is this wasting time?
Because you don't.
Wasting time doing what?
Chatting.
Like versus compared to wasting time. What ought I be doing?
Doing 3 videos is not going to grow a podcast, and that's what you seem to think grows a channel. You think that producing good content one time is what will grow a channel. It won't.
I'm not.
It doesn't matter.
Absolutely not suggesting that.
Consistency is what
quality does matter.
No, it doesn't. Consistency is the thing that matters.
No, it's not.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Then
you can consistently.
Don't worry about it. I don't want to argue about it.
I've seen channels that are consistent.
I know. I can show you crappy ass, low quality channels that have millions of views. They're just consistent. They're chicks that are doing their makeup and just filming themselves and telling stories. They're just garbage lighting, garbage everything, garbage storytelling, and they have millions of views.
There's generally some sort of value that they're bringing to the table.
No, they're just chatting. People like hearing other people's lives. It's soap opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be true.
And it's just low quality stuff that gets millions. It's consistency that matters. If you post every single day for 5 years, you'll have more followers than somebody that posts 2 times super high quality content.
I would rather post 2 times and have super high quality content and not have any views. Yes, I would. It's absolutely self-evident because of the content I make.
You're all over the place with what you want. You're saying you want a successful podcast, and then you're saying, well, I'd rather do the thing that makes you not successful. I'd rather pick the unsuccessful way to do it.
No.
Yeah, I'd rather have the thing that makes you less successful.
Alex, are you done?
What?
Okay, I want to make something that I'm like stoked about. That's what this is all about. And I'd rather be stoked about something really good that comes up twice versus something that's, I don't know, if I was posting something every day and it just wasn't good and eventually it started generating revenue like that. Like I just can't.
And I can't
do that for me.
You don't have the framework to even do this because you're not going to
do
be
what
every day showing up to do the thing that you're talking about. There's nothing out there that fulfills that. They're going to be like, oh, I'm stoked every day to come in and do this thing. No,
but I hate
work.
I hate making shitty stuff. I want to make good
this
stuff.
This is not shitty. This is higher quality than a lot of stuff out there.
Okay, so let's not use the word shitty. I don't want to make stuff that I don't want to like consume or have anything to do with.
Okay.
Like I want to make stuff that I'm like proud of.
Why aren't you proud of this?
Because this is like hard to follow. It's weird. It doesn't make any sense. It's
because you put no time into it. You're 2 days in. You're 2 days into learning the game. It's like going to that poker table, being 2 days in learning, be like, yeah, I have no fucking clue. This game's not for me. And there's a lot of stuff. It's confusing. I don't know how to play. I don't know when the blinds are coming.
Absolutely, been playing the game longer than 2 days.
No, you haven't.
I've got tons of YouTube content.
Yeah, but so what, Ian? You're playing. You have a few skills. You've made some videos. Great.
That's not argue with that.
You're not anywhere near the level it takes to actually grow up, be consistent. Consistency is what matters. Not being able to make one video.
For what?
For growing the thing you're talking about. Growing
what is the thing I'm talking about? Okay, but I'm talking about making stuff I'm proud of. I'm not really interested in like making just like some like thing that's on YouTube or anything like any sort of business or organization or group or anything that isn't something that's like cool. I don't want to make something that's like not cool. And
yeah, what the fuck do you know about cool? You have no idea.
Okay, what the fuck? Okay, definitely. That's all I think about. Absolutely know about.
No,
cool.
You don't. You're like you have no idea. There's no cool.
I absolutely do. There is cool.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is,
no,
Alex.
That's
you don't think there's taste? You don't think there's tastemakers? You don't think there's people in the world that have a... Because no, I'm saying you're saying there's no such thing as cool.
Yeah, there's not. There's just different groups.
Okay, so you don't think there's people that know what?
Do you think that watching Star Wars is cool?
I don't have an opinion on it.
Okay, so some people are gonna think it's cool, some people aren't, right?
Yeah, but there's definitely
so there's not cool. There's just opinions. There's groups and niches, and what's cool is relevant to your culture and your tribe.
Okay, so then I want to make stuff that's relevant to my culture and my tribe.
No, what's your tribe?
I have a pretty good idea of who it is.
That's
it's hard
to
put into words.
You're not doing anything. Do something then. Do something. Come up with an idea.
I do stuff.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Do that. We have this thing. This is the thing we're growing. You should.
Yeah. No.
This is it. So do something. If you don't like it, then do something about it.
Yeah, I think I just want these conversations to go differently. Like I love the format, I love the technical side, and I could see how it could grow, and I can see how it's good enough right now. But it's just like the dialogue is just so weird to me, and it seems so like disconnected and strange.
But it's not.
Okay, but my experience is.
It doesn't matter. You have no experience. Show me the data.
What are you talking about?
You have no experience. I don't even trust business owners when they tell me stuff. When they say, "Oh, this is what works. This is what." No, it doesn't. You have no clue, even in your own business. You don't have any clue. Show me the numbers. People are not good about just like doing I feel this way, and this is what works. Show me the numbers. When you show me numbers, then I'll believe you.
Show you numbers on like other people's stuff, on my own stuff?
No, on this channel. Show me this doesn't work.
I mean, the metrics aren't looking great.
The metrics are 2 days in. That tells me you have no clue about metrics if you're already claiming that the metrics don't show it. That's what I'm saying.
That's true. So you would argue for me to show you the numbers, we'd have to get 40 videos in or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
And 40 videos, I promise it's not going to be this format, and we're going to be having different kinds of conversations. Because as we do grow and as we learn what works, the conversation is going to morph into go watch the first Joe Rogan or the first Hot Wings. The first Hot Wings, the guy is cringeworthy because he's like insulting the rappers. Like his whole thing on Hot Wings is, I'm cooler than you. I can take these Hot Wings and you can't. You're a little like rapper biatch kind of thing. He'd have rappers on. I mean, he would, and these rappers would come on because they wanted to like show their stuff. Look, I'm so tough. I can do these Hot Wings. That was his whole niche, and it's so cringe to watch him like attack people. That wouldn't work. And at the beginning, I would say, no, I'm not going to watch this. But the reason why I signed up when I did, he was 3 seasons in or whatever, and he was finally getting to the celebrity level. He figured out how to interview people, and he moved up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. We're 2 videos in. What are you complaining about? We haven't done anything yet. When you show up 10 weeks in a row to record a video and don't miss a week like we did, I mean, we missed 2 weeks now in a row?
Yeah, 3.
When we have some consistency, you'll see the conversation change.
Yeah, I get it, and I think that is generally true. Like, especially if you're looking at the numbers, like having a sample size is the only way to really like even look at data. But it's none of it's really interesting to me.
Okay, so what?
I'm not. I don't want to do it.
Okay.
So
don't do it.
Okay.
No, I mean, if you don't want to do it, I'm out too. I'm not gonna keep. It's like sort of like having the X on the side that comes back and is like, hey, let's try this again. It's like, no, we're not wasting time on this until you like actually want to be committed to something. Like it shows me. I guess you're reading the emotionalness of it. It's not emotional about the project or anything. It's your lack of commitment. It's that you committed to this thing and you're bailing.
Yeah.
And it is just it's your style. It's your nature, I think. I think you'll follow through.
Yeah, I think that would be a misunderstanding. I don't really want to get into it though.
Okay.
I don't know why you do. It's very odd to me. It feels like this has more to do with you than it does with me.
Okay.
But I do enjoy working with you is the thing. So I don't know what capacity that can happen. It just doesn't seem like this. You don't think I do?
I just don't think you know what work is.
Maybe.
You don't work. In my opinion, I've never seen you really work. You may
What does that mean? How does making 100 videos not constitute that, or whatever, 60 or whatever?
Because I've just never seen it.
You've never seen it? I mean, you see my output though.
Well, you don't like. Again, anybody can make a video. I can make 60 videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's not hard, right?
It's definitely not like undoable, but I think you know it takes
videos,
effort.
What did you learn? And if by the 60th one you still aren't using the basics, the foundation, you're doing it as a hobby. You're not actually putting the work in. The work is not making videos. The work is waking up at 6 a.m. and watching a 3-hour tutorial on whatever. That's boring as fuck.
Yeah, it could be.
No, that is. It's on the industry. It's going to the conference like I did today. It's going to those kind of conferences, except for YouTube and video, and learning all the little nuances. But you didn't do that. You want to do the fun part without the work. And that's what I'm saying. You don't do work. You want to just do the fun part.
Okay, then that's just what I want to do.
Yeah, but that's not going to ever grow you anything. That's what I'm saying. It's like, anybody can make videos. Everybody can do the fun part.
Well, I'm definitely better than most people.
I mean, no, I wouldn't say that.
For sure I am. Yeah.
No. Most people, okay. Like, if you include, like, all of the global population, sure. Most people haven't been on the internet.
I mean, I'm probably top 10% of all YouTubers.
No. Top 10%?
I bet I am. Let's see.
How do you even measure that? What are you even looking up?
Views or subs?
Yeah, no. You're no way top 10%.
What do you mean?
There's no way that's the case.
Let's see here. I'm looking at the data now. 15 to less than this first data is inconclusive.
Let me find one that works for my theory.
Well, Alex, that's not fair.
No, I'm just saying, like, follow through with something. Like I said, I don't give a shit. Just do something.
Who cares?
Like, you keep starting these projects and stopping them. Follow through. Finish a project.
Yeah, I'm in about top 10% actually.
No.
1,000 subscribers is 14%. 5,000 is 4%. I'm about 2,300 subscribers, so I'm right in the 10% range.
But doesn't make you see. Just claiming that shows me you don't understand the metrics. Just number of subs doesn't make you the top 10% of YouTubers.
Oh, well, based on sorry, top 10 like subbed.
Who cares?
Top 10% of subs. Well,
is that what you care about? It doesn't matter.
It's a big part of it.
No, it's not. Because you know what the curve looks like? Have you looked at the curve?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, the curve's going to be like this. You're not going to... Like, think about it. What did you say the next one? 5,300 subs is what percent? 4%?
5,000 subs is 4.6%.
5,000 is 6.4, you said?
4.6.
4.6. And the other one was...
1,000 for 14%.
Okay, so every 4,000 is like 5%.
Well, no. Okay, so the next one is 10,000 at 3%, 25,000 at 1.5%, 50,000 at 0.9%.
How does that make sense?
Because 0.52% or 1.5% of YouTubers have 25,000 subs.
Have 25,000 subs.
Or more.
Which means that, but it should be linear is the problem. Because the percentages, like 1% of the population should equal some amount of people, right?
I don't know exactly.
I guess it wouldn't. Because you're not saying percentage of YouTube. You're saying percentage of
YouTubers have X amount of subscribers. .0000005%.
Is the thing.
Well,
That's meaningless.
saying it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't.
Seems
When
a
you
little
look at the data,
disingenuous.
it is meaningless. Like,
What do you mean it's meaningless?
Number of subs doesn't equate to anything.
But no, nothing. No, it doesn't directly equate to anything, but it does probably equate to views. There is some correlation between subs and views. I think you know that. There's a correlation between views and revenue. I think you know that. So it does. There is obviously, like all data, it's not one to one. I shouldn't say all data.
That I'm getting.
What is the point?
You've never completed anything. Like, so what? You have 60 videos.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So when you're ready to commit to something and actually build, because it takes work.
Well,
it's not just going to be good right off the bat. It's just not.
I think you're like, it's a mischaracterization to say that I'm not like completing versus committing. Like, obviously there wouldn't be a benchmark of a lot of these things that would mark completion, right? It's not like I have like a very specific goal. If I wanted to get to like Olympic trials for running, then it would be like, okay, there's a very, did you do it or not?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
But like, what is the benchmark for YouTube? It's a successfully grown YouTube channel.
Well, we talked about that. We talked about putting at least 10 videos up on YouTube. That's why I said.
Then I've already done that.
No, this channel right here.
I'm talking about my own channel. You're talking about me not wanting to commit to anything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm pushing back on.
Yeah.
And I'm arguing that 60 videos is committing to something.
No, it's not. Did you sit down and was the goal to make 60 videos? If it was, great, you did it. Good job. High five. But you didn't. You didn't sit down and have any goals.
The goal is to be monetized, and I did that.
So you did that. Great job.
So I completed. I did commit.
Good job. That means nothing. Do you understand that? Oh, great, you're monetized. Great. Good job.
What do you mean it means nothing?
It's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like having.
But I completed the goal. You're talking about. You said I didn't commit, and then I marked a goal that I completed and committed to, and then you're saying it's meaningless.
Like saying,
but I'm just trying to prove that.
It's like saying using the bathroom. I have to use the bathroom. That's my goal. Use the bathroom. Oh, I did it. It's like, yeah, you were going to anyway. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know anyone else that's monetized on YouTube.
If you just post, you're gonna get monetized. It doesn't matter what you post.
So that's what I did.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I reached my goal and I committed.
Good job.
Thank you. It seems a little disingenuous coming from you at this point, but I will take it as a compliment.
I just think you think it means something.
I mean,
what I'm saying is you think it makes
I'm using
you a player.
it. The only reason I brought it up is because you're saying that I didn't commit, and I'm using this as a metric for you. You asked me if I reached, if set any goals, and I gave you one that I reached, and then you're saying it's meaningless. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm just saying that I did commit. That's a crazy thing to say. I think at this point you probably know that too.
You don't commit to anything to the group, if you will. Like you're committed to being selfish, to doing just building. I mean, yeah, anybody can do something for yourself. That's fine. But I'm saying like a commitment to like a company or something like that. Like you're bailing on the same thing on the. You know, this lady's trying to build a brand with her barista thing, right?
That's pretty nuanced.
Kind of.
I can't really speak on it. No, I mean I haven't told you all the dynamics of that, but I mean obviously what is the end goal there too? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, but and it may not be to do. You know, I'm not claiming that it necessarily is in that particular instance to be anything. It might just be a stepping stone. But I'm saying, what can you point to? You point to your YouTube channel as your personal success. What can you point to as a collab goal that you've met without just somebody hiring you to do something?
Yeah, I don't know that well, I think I've made some music with people that has been pretty organized and has come to fruition and been successful.
What have you done consistently?
What is have
you had that's consistent?
What collaborative non-paid success have I had consistently? None.
Okay.
It's a niche thing though. You understand that? It is.
It's not. That's a job.
It absolutely is.
No, it's not.
It's not my job. Like job I get paid for.
I'm not saying you can't get paid for it.
light's not working right now. We're in the darkness. My light's not working, but that's okay. Yeah. I mean, I'd be open to changing it and building something that is more aligned with my values.
But see, you don't even know what those are. It's frustrating because you don't know. Like, you keep
Well,
playing.
maybe I can't communicate them, but I do have a sense of what they are.
No, then put it down. Then build it. But you don't. You're acting like you know. That's the part. Like, you just think that you know, and you think that it's not working or something. It's like, this is the work. This is working. This is it.
Do you know what you like in life?
What are you talking about?
Do you know, like, YouTubers? You like that's all I'm claiming, that I know what I like, that I know what's.
Yeah.
You know, I could use the argument.
What's your sample size?
Oh my god.
No, I'm serious. Of YouTube, like, when I'm not talking about what you like, because what you're doing is you're trying to say, well, I like this, so I'm going to extrapolate that everybody likes this, and this is what works. It might be the things you like don't even work. They might not get views.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But I have to trust that the things that I've got good taste.
And same with me. And I watch a lot of YouTube, and I guarantee if we put up numbers.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like,
I would guarantee
a lot more of YouTube.
Probably triple or quadruple my numbers.
So it's, again, the broader base of, like, variety and, what works. It doesn't really matter. Quality doesn't matter. You can start low quality. It doesn't matter. I've seen lots and lots and lots of low quality channels. It's consistency that matters. Like, I can show you the freaking Victoria's Vegan, shoots crappy ass, like, standing on the side of the street arguing with people videos, and he has a bigger channel than you. And they're garbage videos.
Shout out Victoria's Vegan.
Yeah, Victoria's Vegan. That's what I'm saying. It's not about quality of content. His content sucks. I argue with him all the time.
That's what I care about, though. I care about quality of content. That is my value.
Okay. So we built that. That's the point.
But I don't think that you share that value.
I do. I don't think you know it is quality.
Yeah, maybe, but I trust my taste.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I just don't think it doesn't matter if you trust your taste. There needs to be a leader in the group. If you want to lead it, then do it. But you don't have the drive or the capability to do it. That's the problem.
I think that's true.
Yeah. So that's I've tried to let you do it, and now that we're doing this is me just taking over and leading, because we have to settle this stuff up. You need a leader, and what you're saying is basically, hey, I don't like this. I want to do something else. Pick something else. Then we'll do it. Like, no. Well, if you want to do something else, you do it, and I'll follow you. But right now, you have no clue what you're doing.
Yeah, this is not true, unfortunately.
It is.
I wonder how I can prove it to you. I mean, but if I prove it to you by growing my own channel.
The next show.
The next show? What do you mean? What do you mean by doing it?
The next show. Prove. I'm saying, like, you do it. You do whatever you think is the high quality thing. Do it. We'll put it up on YouTube next week. We'll see if it's the high quality thing.
But it's the dialogue that I'm having trouble with.
Yeah. So do it. Fix it. Fix the dialogue. No,
I'm trying to talk to you about it.
Well, you laugh, but fix it. Go off and write your script, or write whatever headings, or write whatever rules you need to write. Put whatever structure you need in place to keep the dialogue on point.
So what if I make my channel and you help me grow that?
What's your channel?
Well, I've got a couple of them.
This is your channel. This is your channel, and I'm helping you do that.
Well, I don't think this is it. This doesn't seem like it's...
This is it. So whatever it is you want to do it.
Interesting. I could just make whatever I want to make and put it up there as kind of, and roll that way.
What do you mean make? What is it you're gonna make?
Like commentary videos, whatever kind of videos I'd make on other channels, reaction type of videos.
Yes, the world is your oyster. That's exactly right. I just haven't had time to do that, or cut shorts out of these. I'll eventually do that, but that's that's one way we can definitely get the channel to grow, is cutting some shorts out of this conversation.
Right. Well, not even on this conversation. Yeah, that is so weird to me though too. I just really don't have an interest. Does this make sense to you? What I'm talking about? Even if you think that I'm incorrect, but do you at least like even if what I'm saying
No,
is
because
a misunderstanding of
you're not
myself?
seeing it.
Well, that's
You
what I'm saying.
have the thing. This is it. Build it. This is it. This is the thing. Build it.
Yeah.
That's what you're making.
This is the thing. Build it.
Yeah. What you're doing
I
is
am
saying,
making
I don't want to
excuses.
build it. I don't want to do this because whatever reason you're making an excuse.
I'm not saying I don't want to build it.
You do. You are.
What do you
Build
mean?
it. Build it.
Why you keep saying that?
I don't want words. I want you to build it.
What does that look like?
Exactly.
In your mind.
Whatever.
I'm asking you that.
If you're, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you're saying, what does it look like in my mind? It's not my damn vision. I can build my own thing. I can build this channel. I can.
But we're
do
building
that.
something. The idea is that we're doing something together
There
here.
has to be a leader, because you can't handle following and not like leading. Like if we're trying to be collab, then you're gonna be trying to be like the visionary or whatever, but then you don't want to do the visionary work.
That could be true.
Yeah.
I'm open to that.
So that's what I'm saying. Is like there has to be sort of like somebody's vision we're following. It's either yours or mine.
Right.
If you're saying this is not it, you're saying this isn't working, whatever's wrong with it, the dialogue or whatever you think is wrong, put it down on paper or however you conceive of fixing the problem. You're a however old adult, fix the problem.
29.
Yeah, you're 29 years old and you have an issue in these videos of it not being the right dialogue or not being hard to follow, then do something about it. For the next video, do something. This week, what we're going to do is we're going to follow this schedule. Or this week, we're going to talk about this topic only. Or this, whatever you want. I don't know. It's not my vision. It's your vision. Fix it.
Oh my God, you're heated.
No, this just makes good content. I know it sells.
No,
and if I
this
really
doesn't
was
make good
heated, I'd be
content.
speaking German.
No, you can't even speak German. Yeah. I promise not to say the R word live anymore, so I won't say that.
Erection?
R.
Reading,
Well,
writing,
I don't know, man.
I do know.
No, I don't know what to do.
What are you talking about? You don't know what to do. I just told you, fix it. You got 1 week to come up with the next show. Do it.
I'm good, bro. Like I'm not. Like this doesn't interest me.
I mean, so that's fine. Then give up. Like again, I'm not forcing you. Yeah.
Right, but then what?
Nothing. I'm not gonna like you gave up. Like it's like starting a business and be like, well, like no, you gave up on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do still enjoy working with you, though.
No, but you don't. You gave up. There's nothing.
Well,
to
that
work
doesn't mean
on.
I still don't enjoy working with you.
No, this is
working,
it. This is the thing to work on.
We work in many different methods.
I mean, I would trash all this. I'd go straight AI company. I would build a small company that services small businesses, building ChatGPT and GPTs and things like that out for other companies. There's so much money in that right now, and that's an easy thing to do. You can't help me with that because you don't have the drive to do that. That takes a lot of sales work. It's gonna be a business. It's gonna be like social media again.
Why don't you do that?
I could because I'm doing this right now. I'm
but
putting that on hold because I wanted to help you with this. If you give up, that's great for me. Great. If you throw in the towel and you can't do it, like that's like this, that's sort of what I want.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe that plays into how this is all going then.
No, I'm saying you've misunderstood me. I'm saying that because the only way for this to work, it's just like the Zen thing, or just like the I can't even think of it, Kill Bill sort of style, Japanese guy on the hill, you go up and see. All those guys, when you go see a Zen master, the first thing he does is send you away. It's the exact same thing. If you don't come back, I'm sending you. If you don't come back, fine. I don't give a shit. Like I can build this.
I don't buy that bullshit.
I mean, that's where I'm coming from.
0% that's the case.
No, that's exactly what
absolutely
I'm
not.
No, 100%.
It's absolutely not. Such an easy cop out to do at the back end of something as it's
not the back end. I've been thinking about this all day. You think that.
All day.
Yeah, no, I mean serious. Like at these MDMC that I've been going to, the marketing conference, learning all about AI and how much opportunity there is for small businesses, and how all the people in the area, like in the room, are asking these questions and wanting this expert advice. And I know that since I've been working on it since it first dropped, this is a great niche. I could kill
Yeah.
this and create a side business. The reason
There you
why
go.
I'm not is not because I think this is going anywhere. I am helping you. If you turn and walk away, that's what I want in the sense that you're not ready. No, I'm dead serious. Like, it helps
Okay.
me out. I'm putting off that other opportunity for this. It's the
It does
opportunity cost.
strike me that I believe in that vision way more than this, because I think you're pretty proven in that, in the working with businesses and managing AI tools.
No, it's the whole building things. It's building systems. What you don't get, see, I don't think you've ever. I have this super diverse background. I've been through a lot of different companies, like, McDonald's, and you got your professional labs, the radio station. You got, Got Junk franchises. So I have this like really broad knowledge of business and how to build things, right? And that's what I'm telling you here is that me being able to build that is the same as a podcast. It's the same set of skills. You understand that? It
I don't think it
absolutely
is.
And the fact that you don't see that tells me you're not ready for I mean, you're not going to be a YouTuber. If you don't make that connection yet, that's
let me
what
ask
it
you this
takes.
question. Do you think that you have a skill set that's better suited for one versus the other? Or actually, let me ask you this question. Do you think someone can have a skill set that's better suited to building a company that's based around, science versus a company that's based around like personal relationship?
No.
Do you think someone you think that
that
opportunity is equal?
Sharks buy such a variety of companies. They are all businessmen, and business is business. It's all product marketing.
Right, but you're not acting as you're acting as an employee right now on both fronts.
What are you talking about?
If you were to,
you're
like,
always an
say,
employee in a way, but yeah. Go ahead.
Mark Cuban, if he buys a business, he's looking at the numbers, and it doesn't matter what he's good at. Like, he could have no legs and buy like
because he's
shoe
really
company
good
or
at
something.
business and surrounding himself.
Right.
Like, his skill is building up teams. Then the team around him.
But that doesn't mean your skill being on a podcast.
Exactly.
If you're really good at business.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the podcast will get better. My skill is building a successful podcast. That's what it is. I can build the structure around what it takes to build. You can say all you want. It's producing a product. That's all it is.
I will concede that I do understand that point at the end of the day. If you pull out the thread long enough, which you're claiming to be good at doing, and I think I would agree with that. That at the end of the line, yeah, I would agree with that. That makes sense to me. But you would probably also concede that the podcast could be something like totally different in 10 episodes.
Yeah, look at Gary Vee's first podcast. You know what he was talking about? Wine. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Is like the goal here, okay, I guess this is a breakdown. I guess this is what you're not seeing. The objective is to be consistent for 10 videos. That was it.
I see.
It wasn't make high quality content. It wasn't make content that gets views. It was to prove that you can produce 10 videos. I don't care what they're on. Talk about your dog. Talk about tea and bees and whatever. I don't give a shit. It can be as incoherent as you want. Prove that you can produce 10 videos, and then we'll work to the next step.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. The idea it doesn't matter. But also I would say that you would probably, like saying that you know what works and this is what works isn't even the point. Like this, I don't know, maybe you weren't saying this, but the perception I got was that you're saying this kind of content works or sells. Right.
I'm saying trust the process. The process works for producing good content. This will change. I promise you. If we were to continue this podcast for 5 years, it would not look like this, right?
It probably wouldn't even be either us on it.
Sure won't. 100% guarantee it won't.
That either of us wouldn't be on it.
Are you firing me?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm saying like it won't be two talking heads. It won't be the background. It won't be this. It will be something that you can't even conceive of anymore. Well, it may have cuts. May have multiple cameras. I don't even know. I have no idea where it's going to go. But I know the process that builds things that are successful. That's what I know.
Yeah. I like it.
You want to build the AI company then? Because fuck this.
You build the AI company.
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry,
not doing
my
because
bad.
again, like I can do it, but yeah, I'm not doing it. But I'm looking for. I want to build something bigger. I don't want to build it by myself. That's all I'm looking for to build something.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's other people that you can build with. Your
Right,
brothers
there is, but
around.
I don't want to. I'm not interested in finding those people. I have other things I want to do than, like,
What?
Work at this company, get really good at it.
What company?
Like 1905.
Oh, at your job. Yeah. Oh,
or
there
whatever.
you go.
Like I got other things. I got I could play my video games. I'd much rather be playing Factorio than building an AI company.
Interesting. How do I convince you to build an AI company?
Join me.
Oh, that's not in my nature, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Actually, you could build a website. That's what I need.
Yeah, that's probably not my best suited skill set, considering that
What are
you
you talking
built my
about?
website.
It's graphic design and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's videos and content, and you got ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you
that's what it
my
would take
domain.
for you to.
Yeah, and you build it up for me, and then I'll
build an AI website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
It
only
does kind of
thing
make me
holding me back.
sound like a shithead.
Hmm?
That's the only thing holding you back, but that's something
Yeah.
you have the capacity to do.
No, I could do it, but it's a hassle. I don't want to have to do
Yeah.
that again because there's a whole bunch of
Build
things
a
up front.
website.
Well, like buying the domain and then getting the SSL certificate and then like adding a theme to WordPress and all that. It just is like I hate setting up the first time.
Yeah, it does sound like a pain in the ass. God
But
damn.
once it's up, I can get it all up. If I get it all up and just give you a template, you can type everything in.
That's what it would take.
I mean, do you want to be rich? Do you want to be able to buy one of those houses up in the mountains? If you do,
no.
I mean, like this guy that just gave a talk, Drive. His company's called Drive.
Mm-hmm.
He grew an AI company in basically the same thing in like 2 years, from just a 5-man office here in St. Louis to 250 people all over the country. And he did
2 years.
In 2 years, he did 25 million in revenue last year. He landed.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, because there's a huge market for this.
Right.
And he landed some big brands. He landed like the flour company. I forget what their
1-800 Flowers.
Or no, the arrangement one, edible arrangements.
Edible arrangements.
Yeah. So he does their AI stuff and their like marketing and stuff. But
that's pretty cool.
I mean, I definitely think I don't know. It's just too saturated. I don't. I mean, the YouTube thing. YouTube's not the future. Like
I agree.
Yeah. This is just for
And
fun. This is just to get video editing skill.
Yeah, and I mean, I've all generally thought that, like, especially over the next few years, that this doesn't really last. But it seems like it's good to get video editing skill. Also, it does make me money. Also, it does allow some level of platform for me personally on my own channel that I can expand and grow that to make other stuff as well.
And to be honest, another reason why I'm doing this is specifically for those skills. Like, I wanted to learn the routing, not being able to do the audio makes me mad. So I'll learn that skill, and now I understand audio and I understand Macs. It's another thing I picked up. I'm constantly doing that with all sorts of things. I'm talking about tutorials on YouTube and everything. So that's why I think that you underestimate like just the amount of content I'm actually like. YouTube University is a real thing.
Oh no, I mean, I definitely would give you. I mean, I don't know, probably 4x what I consume. I think you're definitely. I mean, every time I've gone over to your house, you're like, something is always on.
Because why would you ever have not time? I mean, there's just so little time and so much content to consume.
I do enjoy downtime for my own mental sanity, but I also can definitely see that argument as well.
Okay. Well, what else you got? What's the conclusion of all this?
Well, it seems like I don't see myself building a website, which is indicative of the amount of effort you've put into this, indicative of me not actually wanting to do the hard work, because that is a pain in the ass. and I'm not super motivated to do it. But I do want you to build a company. I do want you to build something.
Do you know what the word company means? Like, think about that word.
Yeah.
Like the same thing as like a company, like a battalion, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a military term. But
right.
A company is like a group of people doing something together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say build a company, that's what I'm talking about. I don't want to build a company by myself because that's not what a company is. If you want to build it, come build it with me and we'll build it. But I'm not going to do it myself. If you want to build it and make a lot of money, we'll do it. But it's just like this thing. Like, I don't want to do this by myself. I'm not going to just do this by myself because I don't want to.
Right.
But if you want to do it, I'll gladly devote an hour every week or whatever, every Wednesday get out here, and I'll even put in extra work that I know, throughout the work stuff, the Google Drive and all that stuff. Like, just the extra work that I put in because I committed to something.
Right. Which is very honorable.
I'm saying it's a discipline thing.
Yeah, or it's very disciplined as well.
I'm saying, where's your discipline?
Conceding to not having any.
Okay.
No, I want you to build something.
No.
I mean, I'll keep doing what I'm doing. It is my nature to just do stuff, and sometimes I go through periods of high productivity. Sometimes I go through periods of low productivity, and I'm not really interested in like trying to like prove any of that to you, and I don't think you're interested in me trying to prove it to you either. It doesn't really matter, but in the end, I will, keep doing the stuff I'm doing. So.
Yeah.
I still do want to move in though, so I feel like that should play into this conversation as well.
Yeah, you still move in.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, I don't care. All I'm saying about this, I don't care. Like, this doesn't matter to me. Nothing matters, Ian. This is just a thing that we're doing for a little while. If you want to do episodes and stuff, it's fine. I can do other
I don't
streams.
think I think it's disingenuous to say it doesn't matter because it apparently
No,
does
it doesn't.
matter.
I think in the scheme of things, if you want to put it into where does this play in the storyline, all this did is force me to take the next step to be able to stream or whatever. So now I have the capabilities of streaming poker or streaming chess or whatever I want.
Alex, I think that's a real reduction of the bond
that's honestly
created
like
here.
If I connect the dots, that's what it. I mean, what would be the purpose of doing 2 episodes and then quitting? The only reason that fits in the storyline. No, it fits in the
conversations. You want the story to be that you can stream poker or that you can stream your video games.
No, I just wanted to do that for a long time. And when you want something, it's that secret thing where the universe gives it to you, right? The more you focus on it, the more. So, like, in this instance, I wanted to stream. The universe knew I would never take the steps to do whatever and force this, so I would have to figure it all out. And the second everything is figured out, all the different audio, that's when the thing goes away. So to me, I don't have this like, I really do not have the view that you think I have that things, I really do think it's a storyline playing out. And when I look at every event in my life, it all seems so much like that. It's like, oh, okay, if you really look at it, I can see the reason,
I, as a Christian man, think that's significantly in play to looking backwards. You always kind of see the journey leading to where you are now. Like, of course, it's always going to kind of feel like it's played out into a bigger story. But I get it. That's all positive, I think. I think the idea that I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
But
I'm the only one that exists. You're a figment of my imagination. Everything.
No, that's not true.
It is.
I'm telling you, it's not.
It is, and this is the way I gain this skill to do the next thing.
No, then I mean, why would you be gaining skills? That's seems like a strange.
What there is to do. We've been over this.
No.
And then I die. I get to start again.
You don't get to start again.
Yeah, 100%.
Day of Judgment.
No, we're all one consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. maybe this restarts down the road. Maybe there isn't any other follow up to this, but I don't know. I do enjoy the working together part of it, or maybe even whatever you conceptualize as whatever it is. I think it's a good dynamic. I just don't know how to build on it. And I don't think a podcast is the way. And I don't think that it's all the same. I think you're presenting it as if it doesn't matter what we build. I think some things go smoother or build better than others.
No. Again, published is better than perfect.
Sure.
What you're looking for is perfect. You're not going to find that. Published is better than perfect.
I would definitely disagree with that too, but
No, I mean, you can disagree, but
disagree.
again, it's the lessons you got to learn.
Alex, I've got a very successful YouTube channel with many companies coming to me to
how many followers?
market them.
3,000?
Well, not quite, but soon.
Okay, so it's not very successful.
Well, I mean, it's
not.
top 10%.
It's not.
It is.
It's not. So
It
let's look
is.
at it.
That's
No,
a
it's not.
factual
It's really
thing.
not. Let's look at it. So what? In order to judge top 10%, you'd have to look at growth rate. So how long did it take to make 2,000 followers?
12 years
And what percent does that put you in?
of growth rate. Well, that's another metric. I didn't look at the.
That's the one that
metrics on
matters.
growth rate.
Because what you're doing is saying that 2,000 followers in infinite time. Like, oh, great. Yeah, you got 2,000 followers. You know why? Because most people on YouTube have 0. So how about this? Take the amount of accounts, take however many accounts have, whatever, 100 followers. If you have 100 or less, drop all those people off the list. Don't count those people. And then see where you stack up. And I promise you, you're going to move way down the list. Because it's just like the early birth rates and whatever in America. It's probably why you say, our conversations aren't followable. Because why are you talking about early birth rates in the 1800s? The same thing. A lot of kids, human life expectancy was really low because kids died at birth, right? It's not that people weren't living to 70. It's that something drove the birth rate way down. And in this case, it's the same way.
Yeah, 100 subscribers makes up 57% of YouTube. So
yeah. So drop off 57% of YouTube, and now where do you rank?
Like 22%.
How do you figure?
Because I'm cutting off of.
No, it's not linear.
Well, it kind of
is. It's stacked the other way. Now, once you drop off that 50% at the bottom, the curve is the other way. It's going to be weighted towards the front because all the big guys are going to skew the data forward.
All the big guys are going to skew the data forward. I don't quite understand.
There's going to be a lot of professional productions now. Now that you've dropped off 50% of the people on YouTube, you basically have all the companies on YouTube doing the thing. Those company productions are going to be a lot bigger followers than 2,000. The reason why you're 10% is because of that bottom half is so bad, drives everybody else up. When you drop them off, it skews the other way, and if you have 2,000, now you're the really low percent. You're like the 100 followers. You're in the 50% of people. Like, the curve keeps doing that. So let's put it this way. Like, 100 people represent 50%. Let's drop them off, okay? Now, what does the next level of subs represent? Like, of that new group, what does 500 subs represent? And I bet you when you look at it, it's going to be like 2,000 subs is 50% or whatever. It's like, oh, shit. I'm down the top 50% because I'm in that low group. It's just like the other low group, but it's like the one level up. Does that make sense? You're going to do the math now?
Yeah.
We can write all the numbers down.
It says percentage of channels at this mark. You said 100 subs and up. There's 22 million channels or 23 million round up. No, I need to do that's probably about 4 million channels. It's 4 million divided by 23 million. Yeah, it's a 17%.
No, but that's not how you do the percent, right?
How do you do percent?
What are you talking about? Like when you say 23 million what?
Of
Total accounts?
YouTubers with 100 subscribers.
So you have a data set. What you have to
Uh-huh.
do is drop off the bottom. So how many people have 100? How many have 100 or more?
23 million.
So 23 million. And how many total are there?
I don't have that number.
You do,
but it doesn't matter.
it does. Because you have to drop off the bottom part. Because you're talking about everybody.
That is we are dropping off the.
No, 23
talking
million
about
is everybody above 1%. So
above
it also
100.
includes the big guys. I want to know how many accounts are below 1%. I want to drop them out of the data set. You can how many accounts?
So okay, the data that I have starts at 5 subscribers.
Okay, so how many 5 subscribers? How many people have 5 subscribers?
39 million.
39 million.
Yeah.
And what percentage is that?
100.
100% of people have.
That's the data set. It starts at 5.
Okay,
how
perfect.
many people?
So that's what we need. So 39 million to 23 million. So that's 10 and then 6. So 16. So that's 16 million people you're dropping off. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So 16 million people. Let me think about this for a second.
I'm looking. Shouldn't it just be? It's 50. It has the percent right here, like 57%. That's a.
Of what?
Of 39 million is 23 million.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, of the accounts above 100, which is 23 million accounts. Right?
Yeah.
What percent of those have over 2,000 subs?
17%.
Why? How do you figure that?
Because so I don't have the exact 2,000 or the 2,300 subs that I have, but 1,000 subs is 5.
Okay, let's just do 1,000 subs.
5 million.
But
1,000 subs
is 5 million.
1 is 5 million. 1,000 is 50.
So that's what you're doing.
5 million.
You're doing the 4,000 because now it's 5,000 or 5 million divided by 23 would be your answer, right?
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So what percent is? Let me make sure that's right. We're not missing something. Because we're saying what percent of people above 5,000? What percent of YouTubers is that?
Above 5,000?
Or no, above the 1,000. Above the 1,000, right? I'm just trying to make sure that we're asking the question the right way.
What percentage of YouTubers are above 1,000?
Like we want to know what percentile you're in, right?
Yeah, it's 57, 5,700,000 for 1,000.
Are over 1,000 or under 1,000?
Over.
So if 5 million people are over 1,000, then that's your percentage, right? That's what your percentile you're in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 2,000, and you said what's 5,000 then?
1.8 million.
And 1,000 is what again?
1,000 is 5.7 million.
Wow. Okay. And what's the 23 divided by both of those?
Divided by both of them? It wouldn't be.
Just one and then the other. I just want to see
one by the other one?
Or like.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, 1.8 mil divided by 23.
23 million.
1.8 divided by 23.
Right.
7%?
That's what.
What's the opposite of that?
Yeah, 7%.
Doesn't make any sense.
What?
Oh, okay. So there's another number. That's what it is. So we have to move up a little bit higher. So where's the big chunk at? We just put the line at 100 arbitrarily. Is what I did.
Right. That was it's all arbitrary.
It's not arbitrary in the sense that there's going to be a bunch of people underneath a certain line, and then it'll really break.
It's kind of just it's pretty
probably
linear.
Most people are linear. It's definitely not linear because.
Okay, so it's definitely like starts really curving right around 1 million.
1 million subs.
Because it goes 500,000 is 48. And that cuts in half to 1 million. And then it cuts in a
50% mark? Like, where is 50% line?
50% out of what?
The whole thing.
Is,
so, like, we're 50%.
100 subs.
Oh, is the 100 subs mark?
That's 57%.
Then how does... Okay, what's the next one? Like, how does it jump up?
32% at 300.
At 300, it jumps up 20% or whatever?
Yeah.
So, I mean, another 200 bumps you up a lot.
Yeah. I mean, having 100 subs is pretty normal.
We're doing the math wrong because you're not 7%.
No, I'm not 7%. I'm not 5,000.
But what percent did we say you were? I mean, I'm just assuming you're 5,000 cares or 1,000 or whatever. I know you're not like 10% then. But, see, that's what I'm saying. We're at the 10% mark again. So we're doing the math wrong somehow. What are we doing wrong? Because we're still at the 10% mark.
When were we at the 10%? Oh. Why are we still at... What do you mean we're still at the 10% mark?
Wait a minute. 50%? That's what we're doing wrong. So there's 39 million total.
Yeah.
And there's 23 million above the 10%.
Above 100.
Okay, it's close, but it's not right. That's one reason. Because and the numbers are slightly off, but I guess it's probably because it's like 54% or something. There should be 46,000 people at the lowest mark. If half of them leave by 100, it should be half the whole population. And the population is 39 million, you told me.
Population is 39 million.
Yeah. And at the first mark, they lose 50%. They should lose half of that.
It's 57%.
That's crazy high. Yeah, that's right then. Well, if they lose 57%, no, that's right in the wrong direction. Because we're saying like 39 to 23. And
they don't lose 57%. They lose 43%.
Oh, they lose 43%.
Because they have 57%.
Okay. And yeah, you're closer. I guess that's right. Go back and look at these numbers later. But I don't understand how it comes out 10% again. That's weird.
It doesn't come out 10%.
It basically does because you're like 7 to whatever, right? Again.
7 to like whatever. What do you mean?
What's 4,000 divided by 23?
4,000 divided by 23.
That's 20%.
4,000.
Or 4 divided by 23 is what I meant. Or no, you did 4,000 earlier. I meant
That's 17%. That's right. I was saying I was in the top 10%. If we drop off the to 100, then I'm in 17%. I'm in the top 17%.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be in the top 1%, but I am in the top 10%.
And none of it even matters because it's about growth rate, not because I could have posted 10 things 10 years ago and have 4,000 followers, and you're going to claim that you're doing better than me, right? If that's all I ever posted 10 years ago. It doesn't put me in the top whatever percent of YouTubers because it's about growth rate. How fast am I growing now?
Right. That would be pretty important as far as most anything goes. But I was just talking about subs.
Okay. So anyway, is it time for bed?
Yeah, it's getting pretty late for me.
Like 4 hours behind me too. So what a fucking.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and end my video here.
Well, we're gonna keep streaming.